Razzle Dazzle. It's Body by Basil, the new exciting fitness craze that will get you Canary cry swole in no time at all. Just listen to these quotes from our participants. My muscles are huge. It's all or Nephilim. You'll be an apocalypse warlord in no time. Don't wait. Order today and save 33% for just 4 easy payments of only $33.33. You too can have the body of a googly eye VR headset wearing Nephilim warlord.
A new, raw deconstruction of news and analysis. Introducing Canary Cry New Stalk, the new intense fragrance made specifically for thinking outside the cage. From your favorite podcasters, Basil and Goms.
Gons, can you hear me? I'm hearing reports about a prototype Flippy arm.
Don't tell me. Flippy is coming for our jobs.
That's right. You know what this means.
Yeah, it's wake-up time. Think outside the cage.
Okay, everybody, how's it going? This is your best buddy Basil here. Let's see, a little bit slow on the uptake today, folks. A little slow on the uptake. Oh, which is fine because I forgot to hit record. Okay, I hit record now. There we go. We're actually going to record this episode. Isn't that nice? What do we got? Over on Rumble, we got Joydar. We got new Rumble user 777. That's such a good name. One Lousy Petunia. Gingerbean91. What's up, everybody? Ginger says, my husband said he would enjoy the show more if it were like this the whole time. The video game intro. Yeah. I would like that more as well, Ginger. You can tell your husband that. That would be my preference. But to actually have to appear on camera is not the best case scenario if I had some sort of digitized avatar. It's almost like I should become some sort of VR entertainer or something. Okay, just a reminder, many of you, hopefully hundreds of you, have just received a text message from me. You can get the text message alert system. Don't rely on YouTube or Rumble or any other big tech platform to tell you that we're going live. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's not up to us. It is at the whim of the big tech gods. So instead, you can sign up for our newsletter and or sign up for the text message alert system. You can find both of those signups over at canarycry.party. But you can also text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's Canary to 877-740-3226. And you can actually text me back if you want there. I can't carry on a conversation with you, but it has become quite the fun thing to do, to check our text messages before the show, like this one. This is Numbers 6:24-26. Yahweh will bless you and keep you. Yahweh will make shine his face on you and be gracious to you. Yahweh will lift up his face upon you and he will give you peace. Amen. Somebody sent me an auction link to Trump tokens. Thank you very much. Sir Tristan just texted back, says hello. Somebody here says, be a good cheer, Basil. I'm praying for you. Oh, that was Christine S. Thank you, Christine S. What else do we got here? Somebody says, Basil, would you ever be like the main on The Bachelor? The main on The Bachelor. Is that The Bachelor, like the TV show? This person says, I would be down. Hey, there you go. You never know. Times might get desperate. I might need to... We should do like a truther Bachelor type of situation. Anyways, what do we got here? That's it. That's most of it. That's most of the messages. There you go. So you can text me back if you'd like. But remember to get on your game. make sure you're getting notifications from the text message alert system and the newsletter. That's the way to go. Let's get the show started. Woo woo!
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is March 4th, 2024. We are live to tape on episode 720. And today, Orange Man, Red Heifer. And signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy Basil, and you are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events and today's emergent phenomena. All adults and children alike, it's getting messy. Put on your bib, because
It's got to be biblical.
that's right.
Biblical. That's pretty good. That's like, is Gon's dad rap coming back?
I don't know.
It feels like dad rap is trying to break free from
Maybe
the
I
prison
don't know.
that you've locked it away.
Yeah,
Deep
it's
down inside.
Yeah, it's the end times. It's saved for the end times, the true end when we unleash the rap dad.
I want to give a quick shout out to One Lousy Petunia in the Rumble chat. Says, my son put googly eyes on his VR. Well, there you go, son of One Lousy Petunia. The movement have begun. Congratulations. The googly eyes will be a symbol of resistance to the beast system and the technocratic utopia. All right. Well, let's see here. You got anything to say? Did you have anything to apologize for, or?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think we're okay. Well, we didn't publish anything on Friday, but that's okay. We got a lot happening.
We had
so
the interview for Friday fell through, and we had another plan which also fell through. But we'll make it up to you guys. We
good
promise.
times. Yeah.
All right. Let's give that disclaimer. Get going.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up.
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys.
That's right, Gons. Let me give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Starting out with some Trump news. That's right, we haven't checked in on the Orange Man in a little bit, so we thought it was time because some big things happening over the weekend. Supreme Court rules unanimously in Trump's favor. We'll be talking about that and the devastation that has wrought on our democracy. But there's even some more interesting activities going on, some more accolades being given to Donald Trump that is just barely making the news, and it seems to be connected with some other biblical things going on around the world. Then we'll be checking in with Flippy and put those googly eyes on your VR headsets, folks, because the robotics community has once again signaled to the Flippy update community that they are listening. Then Gonz swinging in for a Nephilim update, big one, that connects to just a wide web of communique and psyops going on in the United States right now. And then, last episode, we explored the fun coming out of the German intel community about Putin's plans. Well, there's more German-Russian propaganda making the rounds, so we're going to keep up with that. And at the end of the show, Nephilim penguins, they are in trouble. Are they going to survive their own pandemic down in Antarctica? You'll find out at the end of the show. But first, Gons, our lead stories.
Trump.
We will launch a new age. I am innocent. Innocent. They're coming after me. They love killing.
Supreme Court, SCOTUS.
I always forget about that jingle, and it's my favorite one.
Yes. This is coming from Fox. We actually have the Fox News link as well as the New York Times, both carrying a Supreme Court rules unanimously 9-0 for Trump in Colorado ballot disqualification dispute. Mm-hmm. So, is anybody surprised about this, or are we excited?
Think so. I think the unanimity of the vote is what is getting people excited because, of course, you've got Ketanji Brown Jackson and some, probably the most progressive / liberal justices we've ever had are sitting on the court now, as well as, of course, the conservative majority. So whether the decision was going to pass or not, I think everybody expected the conservative majority to come through on this one, but to have 9-0, Ketanji Brown Jackson coming out and saying, you can't take him off the ballot. That's not how democracy works.
Do you know in sports ball, especially basketball, if you miss a shot, do you know what they tell you?
Do better next time, champ.
Keep shooting,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay. There you go.
New York Times, already moving on. Another case coming to the Supreme Court could have big impact on Trump.
Yeah, of course.
They're moving on. They'll take the L, move on to the next thing. There's 50,000 more cases coming at Trump.
It's really funny,
be worried.
dude. We have not, I don't know, had the strength of will to be covering a lot of Trump stuff lately.
Yeah.
But, in my feed, not like my X feed or something, but like my news feed that I have come through, it is the desperation of the entire mainstream news establishment to just keep this hopium alive, the cope, keep the
it is a copium.
It is so... The copium is so strong, no matter how many times Trump wins and how hard he slams anybody coming after him. It's always he's going down. He's going down. He's going down this time. Now he's going down this time. And then even when he wins, they're like, oh, he's going down, even though he wins. It's like, holy
next thing's
smokes.
gonna take him down. Just watch out. Next thing.
Like, I'm exhausted of that. I can't, and I'm like laughing at it and I'm exhausted by it. I cannot imagine what it is like being somebody who that is directed towards and just being run through this hamster wheel of copium on a daily basis. It's exhausting. And for people who are actually, invested in it, it's got to be truly mind-numbing or something. Like it's its own form of demoralization happening to the liberal class, I think. But anyways, so yeah, unanimous decision on Trump being disqualified from the Colorado ballot. Of course, there's other states who are attempting that as well. One of the most recent was Illinois. Just came out and said they're going to take him off the ballot, blah, blah, blah. So this does not sort of portend well for the establishment trying to keep him off the ballot. Now, I did want to bring this X post from the Babylon Bee because... well, why not? You got to bring the X post from the Babylon Bee, which says here, in major blow to democracy, Supreme Court rules voters can vote for their favorite candidates. Which is not even a joke anymore. Like that is...
Well, Babylon Bee being the bridge between the ridiculous and reality, and
it's true.
More obvious that
I feel like
they're kind of like early normal news.
We have that in common. We have that in common with the Babylon Bee. Actually, in fact, I don't know if maybe new listeners don't know this, but back in 2016 era, when the Babylon Bee was significantly smaller, we're actually, we're playing with the idea of doing some stuff with them. They immediately exploded. It got way too big for us.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They were kind of hanging out in our little crowd, and then they took off like a dragon that sprout wings and just flapped away.
I'm happy for them. Good for them. Okay, what else you got here?
Well, as part of the whole biblical thing,
it's got to be biblical.
We have so Donnie Darkin, who we interviewed a couple weeks ago now, sent me an X post that was referencing this apparent news, and I was having trouble nailing down exactly when this happened or if this happened. The news that we have here is coming from JNS.org, which is the Jewish News Syndicate. And the headline...
Yeah, well, which, by the way, what you're trying to say, if I can put it a different way, is that not a single mainstream, corporate news outlet has mentioned a word of this, not a single utterance that we have been able to find, which is very unusual considering how much they love to talk about Trump. However, you can go to the websites of the organizations involved, and it does seem to be true. So, anywho, there you go.
Right. You had to kind of do your own research and put 2 and 2 together, which is a little unusual. No, I guess not unusual, but for that to be the only point of reference is like, okay, that's interesting. The other one being an Instagram post, which showed this image of Trump holding a menorah, which we'll talk about in a second here. But the headline from JNS.org is Jewish org presents Trump with menorah in appreciation of Abraham Accords. The award was presented to the former president at Mar-a-Lago by Israel Heritage Foundation Executive Director Rabbi David Katz. And it says here, former U.S. president on Monday, this was last Monday, received an award from the Israel Heritage Foundation in appreciation of his efforts to forge normalization agreements between the Jewish state and 4 Arab nations under the guise of the Abraham Accords. The award, a menorah, was presented to the former president at Mar-a-Lago by IHF Executive Director Rabbi David Katz, Executive Vice President Joseph Frager, Executive President Stephen Soloway, Executive Chairman Sam Nahemias, Louis Topper, and Harley Lipman. Quote, this menorah, which represents the eternal light of the world, is presented to President Donald J. Trump. Interesting, he didn't say former there. To President Donald J. Trump in honor and celebration of doing what no other man has ever done, and that is to make peace between Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan in the extraordinary Abraham Accords, end quote, reads a plaque on the menorah base. According to Rabbi Katz, President Trump, quote, was very happy to see everybody. He was in a very good mood, end quote. Quote continued, the president was very excited to see us. He remembered me from July when we gave him the crown of Jerusalem for moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. Oh, a crown was given to him. Oh,
good.
Another detail that adds to the whole beast thing.
It's good. The Israeli
10 kings and the crown.
Heritage Foundation giving Trump a crown. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. The rabbi said that Trump was, quote, very worried about the situation in Israel. He is very much in favor of Israel having to win the war, destroy Hamas. We spoke a little about anti-Semitism as well, end quote. Let's see. In addition to the Abraham Accords, Trump's achievement on Israel include moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to the country's capital, recognizing Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and recognizing Israeli sovereignty over communities in Judea and Samaria. This was interesting. A poll registered New York voters suggests that a majority of Jews in the state intend to vote for Trump in November. New York Jews now favor Trump over President Joe Biden 53% to 44%. According to the Siena College poll released last week. Is that a change in the sentiment in New York? That doesn't seem like a normal thing, or at least in the last few years.
I think that's the point of putting it in the article, is that it's a change.
Yeah.
But, we're seeing these shifts across
everywhere,
literally every demographic except for liberal women. saying. That's
Moving
the
on.
facts.
Sam Markstein, National Political Director at the Republican Jewish Coalition, has said that the poll reflects a shift among Jewish voters. Yeah. So there you go. That's the news. And it seems like it happened. And there's a photo of Donald Trump standing there with the menorah in this case and standing by all these gentlemen. And again, it's the same picture that was shared on Instagram. And I tried to do a reverse image test, on Google. And sure enough, the jns.org comes up as the only source, at least according to the reverse search. So I don't know.
That is a weird bit of it, is that the image literally appears nowhere else on the internet except for this one outlet on this one article, which is a little unusual. But I mean, I guess nobody else is covering it, but you'd think, they would have posted it on their X account or something like that.
Well, it was taken by people from X, as reported as news. So maybe that's part of it too, is to disseminate that information through certain new, alternative pipelines.
I'm over here at the IsraelHeritageFoundation.org. This seems to be located primarily in New York, or at least the members are almost entirely from New York here. We got Jerry Wartsky, he's the honorary president, is a real estate investor and an active participant in the Jewish philanthropic community. We've got Dr. Stephen Holloway, a rheumatologist affiliated with the Inspira Health Network, New Jersey, it looks like. We got Dr. Fraser is a physician in New York. Rabbi David Katz lives in Brooklyn, New York. So this is, it's kind of interesting. The article gave me the impression that Trump went to Israel and Israel was giving him this award. But it seems like maybe it's more of a New York establishment.
It would make sense in the context of the conversation being had here on the jns.org website.
Right.
So,
the Heritage Foundation was established in 1974 by Holocaust survivors who previously called it the Aishel Avraham, and is registered as a 501c3. Okay, there you go.
There you go. Okay, so as part of this conversation, I think bringing up the red heifer is appropriate.
Yeah, real quick. I thought maybe talking about Millet first might be the thing, because the red heifer is a little bit longer bit of it.
Sure.
So this is interesting because we've seen these populist leaders take positions across the world, and if not, Trump is not currently president, but, obviously is a shoo-in, as Grandpa would say. But you've got Millet, sort of the Argentinian Trump. You've got these populist leaders, all very based on the Trump persona, taking charge, or at least, capturing the hearts and minds of millions. And Millet also had his very interesting sort of obsession with Judaism. I mean, claimed that he at least wanted to convert. I think he officially did convert last month, traveling to Israel, doing the whole thing. So there's this very interesting sort of, archetype thing playing out where the populist freedom, or at least libertarian-oriented world leaders are just really locking in with the sort of global Jewish community. And specifically, I think it is very specifically like the religiously Jewish community.
The rabbinical stuff and tying in sort of the mystical thing, but really for the mainstream perspective, it's just the religious side. It's the Judaism as sort of, as it's known now. So, it's very interesting that these populist leaders, so to speak, have those things in common. Well, we talked about Millet and Trump specifically recently, as being two of the more recent people to change their embassy headquarters, their national embassies, to Jerusalem. And so, did Millet get his crown too? Does Millet get a crown? Because Trump got a crown.
That's a good question.
And how about those other nations? Do they all have crowns? That'd be very interesting to see how many
That's a very
dudes
good
in
point.
crowns.
They gave him the crown specifically for moving the embassy, which we did not know. When you were sort of presenting your idea that countries or leaders who moved their embassy to Jerusalem might have some connection with the 10 kings in Revelation. And, it's a theory. It was a theory. But
Yeah,
now
it
to
still
learn
is.
that they literally gave Trump a crown for moving the embassy to Jerusalem. And yes, it does beg the question, did they give a crown to Malay? Come on.
Come on, Malay.
The video you
better
were
just show up.
playing in the background of this is a video of what looks like Trump and Malay meeting each other backstage at CPAC and really going in for a hearty embrace and kind of doing that thing that guys in this, milieu do where they just grasp each other's shoulders and just hold it, kind of shake it a little bit.
Do you remember the old Batman with Michael Keaton? No, Michael Keaton. Old, come on, man, I'm old. And the Joker, I think he's played by Jack Nicholson. He takes his number 2 guy, and he's like grabbing him. He's telling him how he's the number 2, and he's breathing hard. And that's kind of what they do to each other here. So
it is kind of, and it is weird. I mean, it's always been part of the thing that Malay kind of looks like Trump, or at least has the same vibe. But you put them next to each other, and there's a backlight like on the wall, and it's shimmering off both of their heads of hair. So the hair is like really pronounced on both of them. Even the shape of their face, because you see them in profile from the side for a lot of it, and their profiles are uncannily similar. It's really bizarre, and they just keep grabbing each other's shoulders and squeezing and shaking and talking, and you can tell they're both, really putting it on for the camera here. So big moment. That's 2 of the 10 kings hanging out backstage CPAC. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see if they're actually going to walk around with a crown on their heads. That would be pretty interesting, especially if they're in Jerusalem doing that, and if they all show up, for the red heifer sacrifice there.
Oh, they got to be there. They'll be in the VIP section.
Be
a special box where Malay and Trump and whoever else are wearing their crowns.
I think the American Christian American internet will break if that happens.
Yeah, it might already be happening. Now, this is a very interesting detail, and I need. Who sent this next thing to us? Somebody tagged me in it. Hold on. I'll pull it up while I do this. But somebody tagged me, at least, I think us, in a post on X, like you do, and that's wonderful. Please feel encouraged to always tag us and stuff. That's very nice. But this was sort of surprising in that it was tagged in a post from CBS Saturday morning, a CBS Saturday morning video. And thought
it's legit
myself,
because this is a gold checkmark account.
Gold
CBS.
checkmark. Yeah. Gold checkmark account. It's the real deal. And I go, okay, very interesting. Let's take a look. The video's a little long, but what we have here is, look, we've been talking about the red heifer for quite some time. Derek Gilbert, sort of a sort of godfather of the space, has been he and his wife have been very diligent in following the red heifer narrative and prophecy and things like that, which will be explained a little bit. And one thing we love to do on the show is laugh and scoff when mainstream media attempts to explore or explain anything Bible related. They always botch it super hard, and then, much less trying to get into Revelation or biblical prophecy as a whole. I mean, it's just pitiful, the attempts that they make. We were tagged in this by Prezim Ministries at prezim.com. Okay, thank you.
All right.
With the comment, mainstream getting heavy. So yes, that's the thing to keep in mind is this is a mainstream CBS Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. This is when you're waking up, eating some cereal, hanging out with family in your pajamas.
Right.
Yeah, this is what's playing on the TV.
Your dad's like, "Do you want to watch some Saturday morning cartoons?" You say, "No, Dad, I want to watch CBS Saturday morning and learn about biblical prophecy." So here we go.
All right. Let me just make sure I get this right. There we go. Here it is.
Infamous October 7 massacre that sparked a war. But one confounding yet eye-opening motive has escaped the headlines. In a recent speech, a Hamas spokesman blamed the Jews for bringing red cows to the Holy Land. The cows he's talking about at a secure, undisclosed location are these, red heifers, to be precise. Some Jews and Christians believe they're the key to rebuilding the historic Jewish temple in Jerusalem and to beckoning the Messiah. To understand, you have to go back nearly 2,000 years when the ancient Romans destroyed the last temple in the city. To rebuild it, these believers point to the Bible's book of Numbers. It commands the Israelites to sacrifice a red heifer without defect or blemish, and that has never been under a yoke. Only then can the temple rise again. Caring for them on an Israeli settlement in the West Bank is Yitzhak Mamo.
So we have here, after a long research, we find in Texas.
In Texas?
Texas, United States of America.
Woo, yeehaw.
Texas Red Angus, flying them 7,000 miles to Israel.
This is not a publicity stunt.
What do you mean?
Meaning, this is something you take very seriously.
Harry Potter is a good story. The Bible is not story. The Bible is a way of God to lead us.
A massive altar already awaits, where the heifers are to be burned.
According to some believers, the ceremony needs to be performed right here on the Mount of Olives, looking directly into where the temple once stood. But something else now stands in its place.
All right, before we move on, a couple things to point out here. The sincerity of the caretaker of the red heifer, being asked about, so it's not a publicity stunt. He was stunned. He was like, what do you even mean? I don't even understand what you're saying. So yeah, the seriousness of this, of course, and yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. A clash of worlds, I suppose. Coming from the mainstream journalism to being really in the weeds of taking care of true sacred significance.
Well, and that's perfect because, while I think they do as good of a job as any mainstream outlet has ever done with a topic like this, you can see how it just does not compute in the brain of this reporter that somebody would be taking this seriously.
Right.
It is so foreign, the idea that you would take action in the physical world because of, a incredibly deep-seated belief, not just of your religion, but of your sort of nation. And for those just who need a little bit of context, to meet the requirement of the Old Testament law, a red heifer was needed to help accomplish the purification of the Israelites from uncleanness. Specifically, the ashes of a red heifer were needed in Numbers 19 because red heifer ashes are necessary for the purification rites held at the temple. Many have regarded the appearance of a red heifer today as heralding blah, blah, blah. Now, a note that I don't know is mentioned in this video is that these red heifers, I believe, arrived in 2022, September of 2022.
Yeah,
so they've actually
been a while.
They've been there for a couple years. But yes, all along the way, people have been sort of tracking this detail.
And I like the image. They took the time to show the actual sacrificial altar. Sort of a modernized ramp, like a white ramp. It's modern, so it's got like a fan on there, some generators probably. Very interesting thing to look at. So, okay, so but this is a two-parter. There's a second part to this report, and this gets into The thing that's standing in the way.
Oh, yeah.
Of the third temple.
No, this is great because he's in Israel. He's talking to the Israeli, I don't know, cowboy taking care of the cows. And you couldn't just finish out this article without a Christian white lady really hammering it home.
But something else now stands in its place.
The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, among the holiest sites in Islam. Today, only Muslims are allowed inside, but that's not stopping Jewish activists outside.
Once you got, you started here.
6 days a week, Melissa Jane Kronfeld leads groups from around the world who defiantly pray, as close as armed guards permit.
It's not about the destruction of Islamic holy sites. It is about preserving this place and being guardians over the house of God for all people.
So you're happy with it where it is?
No, it's going to go 100%, but I believe
it's going to go.
It's 100%, yeah. The whole thing is going to go. We have to build a temple.
When you say that Dome of the Rock...
Hold on.
The whole thing's going to go. We
so
got to build a temple.
No. It's just moving. It's going to go away. This whole thing. It's disappearing. We got to rebuild the third temple, yeah.
It's so funny because what she's doing is she is speaking with the confidence and the assuredness. Yeah, that so it is written, so it shall be. You know, and we all know people like this. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's really
conviction,
it's conviction. It's serious faith. It's you know, and it's not in this way that is sort of a grandiose expression of I don't know, some sort of religiosity that it must happen, it will happen. It's very matter of fact. Just like, yeah, it says it in the Bible, and we got the cows, and so it's going to happen. I mean, it's going to go. We got to get rid of this thing. Which, in the context, in the context of Hamas releasing a video specifically listing this red heifer thing as, you know, one of the reasons why they're at war, is a fun juxtaposition. I'm not glorifying violence. YouTube, you're getting it wrong. I'm just saying this lady has an interesting attitude.
Apparently she's not promoting violence either, though.
So you're happy with it where it is?
No, it's going to go 100%, but I believe
it's going to go.
It's 100%, yeah. The whole thing is going to go.
Wait, stop. How did he get it
when you say
so
that Dome
wrong?
Of the Rock has to go.
Hold on, pause it. How did he get it so wrong? He's like, oh, so you like it where it is. Like, it should stay? You think it should stay? She's like, no. What are you talking about? What? No.
That does seem like somebody gave him a little tip on how to provoke. This
it's a very clever trick is what he's doing. He's a pro at his job, because what he's implying here is, of course, we're not going to get rid of the most important Muslim landmark in the world. Of course we're not, right? No sane person would say that. So you agree, you're sane, right? She goes, no, I'm not. It's got to go. Of course it's going to go. So matter of fact.
MJ, it's hard for me to imagine something more.
Does he call her by her initials?
MJ? Yeah.
That Dome of the Rock has to go. MJ, it's hard for me to imagine something more incendiary.
Well, let me ask you something. The Middle East seems pretty destabilized right now, and the war, if I'm not mistaken, is already here.
To be clear, hers is a dream not shared by the Israeli government or by the vast majority of Israelis and Jews, but it's been enough to incite numerous Islamist groups. Hamas has dubbed its October 7 assault on Israel the Al-Aqsa Wave and has the Dome of the Rock on its emblem. But this is sacred ground to billions of Muslims globally, not just Hamas terrorists, stresses Imam Mustafa Abu Sway of Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Al-Aqsa Mosque belongs to all Muslims. So you'll find reaction from Indonesia to Toronto to New York. That's really given. Al-Aqsa Mosque belongs to all Muslims, and the Muslims today are 2 billion people.
Simply by performing these acts, are these Jewish activists kicking a hornet's nest?
They are.
A hornet's nest they're kicking all the way to Capitol Hill.
So good to see you here in the nation's capital.
Those sacred cows were showcased in Washington at a recent prayer gathering. Many evangelicals believe these red heifers will usher Christ's second coming.
And we need the Messiah to come, right? So for me, the red heifer is red for the blood of Jesus Christ.
Back in the West Bank, Mamo says the ceremony could take place any day.
But can you understand why Hamas could be outraged by something like this?
I cannot understand that even if they are right, why they have to slaughter and rape people to win their war.
Terrorists have been attacking us before we ever dreamed of these cows, he reflects. They don't need them as an excuse to kill.
Why are the cows covered in flies?
Yeah, it's not a great shot of the cows. The cows are like drooling. There's like drool pouring out and there's flies everywhere. It's, you know, it's not, I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting a cow that would be maybe glowing, maybe it has
without
a halo.
blemish. Without blemish, it is pure.
Yeah. It is interesting. So they're giving the impression that that lady is Jewish and not Christian. She read very, very Christian to me. And then, of course, they jump over to the American evangelicals, which this really sort of confuses a lot of people in the secular world. But, you know, I think the point that they hammered home a couple times here that, you know, we've been at war with these people for a very long time. You know, this is nothing new. It's not because of the red heifers that they're suddenly mad at us or whatever. I mean, they cut the interesting sort of edit job they did on that lady, where she, you know, she just, so what do you think? Don't you think this is bad? Da, 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 da. She's like, look, we're already at war. I don't know what you want me to say. What are you gonna do?
Right. There's the clip too from the evangelical meetup there. There's that one clip where the gentleman is saying that, you know, the red blood is for the blood of Jesus, and in the background behind him, there's a huge screen that shows the sacrifice. Yeah, the place where they're going to sacrifice the altar, and then an arrow, like this big yellow arrow to the Dome of the Rock. It's like wow, okay, all right, yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Stirring things up.
You know, I think even within sort of our community, that's just the Christian community in general, I've definitely been in services that are like that, or like a special speaker comes by and it's all about you know, the building of the temple, and it's like this very big, it's kind of, you get this very worldly look at prophecy playing out all across the world. And I'm wondering if that's common. Have you sort of been in something like that? Have you been in a church service, a special speaker or something, where somebody really comes in and is like, yeah, I'm the guy, or I'm the gal. I've been there. I've stood on the place where the altar is. This is what's happening. This is what it's going to be.
Oh, you mean, okay. No, I haven't seen much of that in my time. Yeah. But I, you know, my time in really kind of being embedded into local churches and stuff was a few years ago. So I don't know if
well, see, that's what I think is interesting. Yeah, I think there's an interesting divide in the sort of Christian community between people who grew up with at least one of those services a year, basically. You know, on a yearly schedule, somebody would come in and give you the Dome of the Rock update or something. And I think versus there's a huge portion of people who see that meeting and it seems very sort of foreign. So I guess that's just the beauty of the range of experience of being a Christian in America.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely setting up for this whole confrontation. I believe a lot of the Antichrist geopolitical moves that are described in eschatological passages has to do with this conflict right here. So
yeah,
it's going to be biblical, as they say.
Yeah, and it's interesting that, you know, CBS, not the biggest, not the most important mainstream outlet, but they really gave this, you know, some airtime, which I think reflects a lot of what we're seeing in regards to the obsession with Christian nationalism, the obsession with Christianity just in general, and the big sort of sea change when it comes to the types of things that the mainstream media will report on, which now apparently includes sort of detailed biblical prophecy.
Yeah, that is interesting. There's it's always been, well, what is it? Oh, you're right, CBS. That is, I was gonna say, because it had that Fox feel, because Fox kind of goes into that kind of stuff over the years. They'll dabble in that stuff. So if you didn't tell me what outlet that was, I would have said Fox. That's the kind of vibe. So yeah, you're right. It is interesting that we're getting to that point where now CBS is just like biblical prophecy, red heifer, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah,
we'll keep an eye out. It's gonna as we move into the time that will sort of require occult experts in the news.
Yeah,
I wonder if more prophecy experts will be sort of, I don't know, integrated into. I mean, it's bigger than anything, no matter what side of the sort of spiritual spectrum is being represented. I think it's fascinating that mainstream corporate news is sort of integrating spiritual worldview news in general, whether they're bringing on a tarot card reader or, doing a thing on biblical prophecy. It's the separation between the sort of spiritual current events and your more secular current events. That line is getting blurry.
Yeah, that's been the big thesis around here, is that lines get blurry. All the lines are getting blurry. It's either digital but not digital, and on a toilet or not on a toilet, or...
I mean, I think it shows... Yeah. Sorry, I thought you had a whole thing planned. Sorry. It shows the I don't know, just the times that we're in, that people are sort of being forced, and if not forced, encouraged to start seeing everything more supernaturally. And it'll be interesting to see how the news sort of uses that, guides that energy.
Deals with it. It's their own sorcery. That is, the media platform is their tool for sorcery. It has been the whole time. So
yeah, totally. Exactly.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. But you're right, Gons, it is Monday.
Gary, what day is it? Monday. Monday. Monday.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
That's right. It's Monday. We're doing it, folks. Gons, I have an announcement to make, emu related. The male emu. The eggs have been laid, and the male emu has taken his place on the throne of eggs.
Okay.
And he is hanging out, weathering the storms. Now, I don't remember if I explained this before or not, but this is a big moment, because once the male emu takes his place, sitting on the eggs, he does not move, he does not drink, he does not sleep for 60 days. Well, he might sleep, but he does not eat. For 60 days, he's just chilling there until these eggs hatch or are ready to be hatched or something. So I am totally winging it over here, trying to bring these new little emus into the world. But Big Daddy has taken his seat, and the countdown has begun.
Can you help him? Be like, hey, go take a 20. Let me sit on the eggs.
Yeah. I tried. I'm being very gentle. I don't want to like disturb his zen or something, but so I'm like bringing him food, I'm bringing him water, like making it so he doesn't have to like get up or whatever, not touching it, not touching a single thing. He's like entered this weird meditative state where he barely even acknowledges that I'm there. And so I'm hoping it's supposed to be that way. The internet and fellow emu breeders online are telling me that it's totally normal. But it is very strange. I thought about going out there and like putting up a tent around him or something. But I was told that's a pretty bad idea.
It's interesting how animals are just, they do their thing. You know, humans
Just
don't.
doing
Humans
his
doing their thing is pretty destructive, but
Yeah.
animals just kind of know
It
what to
just
do.
knows. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I held you when you were a tiny baby. How do you know to do this?
It's programmed in my DNA. I don't know why.
That is the emu. Yeah, that is the emu accent. It's sort of a Turkish accent.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. There's the emu update for the day.
Cool. All I have to talk about is Age of Deceit 4. And
Yeah, talk about it,
I have a
bro.
lot to talk about with that, but I'm going to save it because I think we're going to put something together for Friday where we're going to show pieces of the film as part of the...
Yes. So Friday,
yes.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and Gons, I don't know, is able to pull it off.
Yeah,
Friday,
work.
we will have I think what will be a very cool episode, which will be a little bit of it'll be half like director commentary, half insight into your process, half sneak peek at Age of Deceit 4, and half a lot of halves here, and half
It's about 5 halves.
It's
So I
about
mean, we're
5
extra
halves.
dimensional, folks. We're operating in extra dimensions because
That's right.
things don't make sense in the 2D anymore.
It's the only way to get anything done these days is
Yeah.
you have to do it in multiple dimensions. But also a sneak peek into what the Age of Deceit 4 focus group will be
Yes.
entailing as well. So we're getting everything ready for that, but we're kind of having to make a push here, kind of having to make a big push over at canarycry.tube. So go check it out. And remember, if you sign up for a monthly support over at canarycry.tube to help us take back our streaming sovereignty, of course, you know this. You are joining as a powerful individual, joining a bunch of other powerful individuals to take your power away from Netflix, away from Disney Plus, away from Hulu, because they hate you and they want to take your money and they want to brainwash you into portraying everything that you know is true and right. And so you are, agreeing with the corporate body here in Canary Cry that we are canceling at least one streaming service. That is what we are doing. We are starting. This is the first volley of economic attack from the Canarium on the mainstream, mind control magicians, and cancel the streaming service, and then go over to canarycry.tube and put those God-given resources towards a project that not only will sustain this show and the value you get from the show and the insight that is not available anywhere else and the community that is second to none, all those things, but also preserve our ability to stream without the permission of big tech platforms. That's right. We're building out our own infrastructure. It's more achievable now than it ever has been, and we have the talent, we have the vision, and now we just need the resources to do that. So if you go to canarycry.tube, you can read much more about it. But the idea is, let's take our power away from the big streaming platforms, especially if you're on YouTube Premium, and go sign up there. Make sure to hit that monthly checkbox, and additionally to everything else, you'll be allowed access to the Age of Deceit 4 focus group, where instead of creating a film in the dark cave that is Gonz's garage, where he toils in anxiousness and the steam cooker of making another film and hoping that it's what the world needs right now, we are harnessing the power and the research. I mean, people who, especially if people have a history with Age of Deceit 1, that means you've had 10 years of opening your eyeballs to what's going on around in the world, to doing your own research, to taking in as much information as possible. The people who have been around here, the Canarium, for any number of years are a very special breed of highly critical thinking, highly, perspective highly varied perspectives and are constantly taking in information that would be relevant to helping out with the movie. So it's not just Gon's making the movie. Of course, he is working harder than any of us, but it's up to all of us to participate in this focus group to help Gon's, fix problems, perfect the messages. It's going to be really cool. And you'll get a little sneak peek of what that will be like this Friday, which we are now throwing our hat over the fence, Gons. So
well, that's fine. That's fine. I'm excited for it because Cody's barking. Because there's a whole lot I want to say in the film, and I think it'll be nice to bounce off a group of folks who know what I'm talking about. To help sort of put it all together, because it's a few different ideas. And
develop the ideas, move the ideas forward, make sure you don't have any blind spots that you're missing something.
Sure. Yeah. The ideas are fairly simple and straightforward, and I think it's pretty easy to grasp what I'm trying to say. But just presenting it and really thinking about the timing of everything has been very Holy Spirit led, I think. And this is something I wanted to talk more about, and I'll talk more about it Friday. But just the timing of how things have come together and the topics concerning encryption and cryptography, eschatology and Bitcoin and biology, and it all makes this large soup that I want to make sure tastes right before it goes out there, if I can carry the analogy there. So look forward to Friday's show. But go to canarycry.tube, give us $7 trillion as I've put into the thing here.
That's a lot.
Did you know if you give us $7 trillion, you would have to pay, let's see, what is this? $231 billion to cover fees on PayPal.
Oh, that's a lot of fees. Worth it, though.
Make it a monthly donation. That'll outpace the U.S. government debt right there. $7 trillion.
For those who are just listening, Gons is at canarycrytube.com and just put in as many sevens as he possibly could into the donate box. Yes, and remember, again, because I know there's some people who forgot this, and we had to straighten out some stuff people who emailed us. Remember to hit that monthly box, because with our streaming sovereignty, there is an upfront cost to getting the hardware, to implementing the services, to getting all the things in order, but the monthly upkeep of that will be a significant goal that the community can meet, and I believe in them. So yes, and also you'll be credited at the end of Age of Deceit 4, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, let's thank some executive producers, Gons.
Executive producers.
That's right, and you know it, you love it as the value for value model, folks. You might notice no affiliate codes, no advertisements, no corporations getting in between you and the value you receive from this show. Well, the show burps are back. Yeah, it's a whole thing, folks. Breaking away from this beast system, the economic system that rules this world, that makes your time and attention the most valuable commodity that can be sold to corporations, which when you're like us and you're trying to run a show and you're trying to make it live and you're trying to do stuff on the internet, the system is set up for two things. There's two outcomes that the system is set up for. Either you fail and go away, or you get money from corporations for
lying.
by giving them permission to brainwash you. Yeah. So here's the thing. It just didn't sit right with us. We don't like the idea of selling your time and attention and your trust to corporations for our own personal gain. And so the other option, as far as the system is concerned, is for us to die and go away. However, there is a fly in the ointment, and that's the value for value model, which is simple, just means for whoever gets value out of what we do. It might be the information, the education, the entertainment, or the community, more importantly, and the culture of Canary Cry. If you get value from any of those things, you have the opportunity to put value back in. And indeed, there's no bones about it. If producers like you do not put value back into the system will collapse. And not every single person needs to produce every single episode, although that'd be great, to keep it going. But, it's just a matter of being led and being open and listening to how the Lord wants you to participate. And as long as everybody's being honest and generous in that regard, then the show will keep going. And remember, it's not just money. It's your time, your talent, or your treasure. Maybe you have a skill that you could help us out with. Maybe you are, an IT person who can help us take back our streaming sovereignty. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're a musician. Whatever it is, you can put value back in whatever way you want. It takes all kinds. So consider that, and more than anything, just pray for us. That's the most important thing, of course. But the executive producers are people who come in and they produce any individual episode with $100 or more, and it's a lifesaver at all times. And that's why we thank them here at the top of the show. Ready, Gons?
Yep.
Okay. Starting off with executive producer, Sir Alex Protocol V2 and out of the Berean Protocol.
Where'd you find this? Bankroll out the bankroll, I spend.
Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol.
Thank you very much, Sir Alex Protocol. So faithful, coming in with $100.33 yet again. He's on a 269 episode streak and a 67 episode executive producer streak. Thank you very much, Sir Alex Protocol V2.
Wow.
Next up, we have executive producer Dustin H.
Where'd you find this?
Dustin H, thank you.
Dustin H comes in for $101.33.
Illuminatus!
And a note here that says, truly impressed with the character of you both. More value than you know. Wish I could do more, but Lord willing, I will be able to soon. Wow, what a wonderful thing to say. Thank you very much, executive producer Dustin H. That's very kind.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a true hero of the Canarium, and that is executive producer Christine S.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, Christine S.
No notes and a nice round number. Appreciate it very much, Christine S. You are always a pleasure to have on the list here.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got executive producer Sir Jamie G.
Where'd you find this?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jamie G.
Yeah, comes in with an unimportant number. Thank you very much, Sir Jamie G. And he has a note here that says, just a little extra to make up for last episode lack of producership. Much love. Thank you very much, Sir Jamie G. That means a lot. And yes, that's the wonderful thing about the value for value model is, sometimes we can have a little bit of a dry streak. But the Lord moves on people's hearts and finances and makes up for it. And we feel very cared for by God and the producers.
Amen.
Last but not least, we've got executive producer Felicia D.
Where'd you find this?
Felicia D, thank you.
Another faithful life raft. Felicia D always coming in when it means the most. Nice round number. Thank you very much, executive producer Felicia D.
Thank you, Felicia D. And by the way, for some reason, I don't know why, we've been playing those women rule clip, and that's Newsome. He's got a new nickname, New Scum. I forgot about that for this episode.
Yeah.
Trump called him New Scum. And it was all over.
He actually, I feel like that's been floating around for a while. But if
Trump
said it, if Trump
Newsom's
said it, then I believe it.
Newsom's making his move, so it's a good time to dust off the old New Scum.
Yeah, there's some crazy Newsom stuff going on, but
there
you go. That concludes our list of executive producers for this episode. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll have some more producers to thank later on in the show.
I just want to say that there was an anonymous executive producer that came in through snail mail.
Where'd you find this? the bankroll I spend.
And that is all I will say. Thank you for the note, and thank you for the executive producership.
Yes, yeah, indeed. You know, again, the Lord knows what's going on and knows how to lift us up from the depths, and it's done at the hands of producers.
Yes.
And just a reminder, if anybody is uncomfortable using sort of online payment processing stuff, we do have our snail mail address over at canarycry.support, where you can learn more about all this and scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see our mailing address. Make sure you gotta put Gonz's name on the envelope. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that is at canarycry.support.
Canarycry.support.
And are we flipping?
Let's flip it, bro.
Let's
flip it.
Flip it, bro. Okay. Here we go.
Flippity flop.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and now there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is coming from yahoo.com. And there's an auto-playing video on the page. It's being mirrored from Fox News, and the headline is "The Creepy-Eyed Robot That Wants to Be Your Friend and Teacher."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do take offense at this.
Okay.
And you'll see why. Do you want to just play the clip, or what do you want
Let's
to
play
do?
it. Let's play the clip.
If you
Play
can
it.
get beyond the pair of creepy, googly eyes, this robot wants to be your friend and teacher.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Let me play
Okay.
it again.
For those who might be new to the Flippy update, the whole thing, my googly eyes, I know it's off-putting. I think what is expressed in this clip is what some people actually feel about me when maybe first tuning into the show, and so I totally understand. This give me insights into the dark,
The
twisted
psychology of
minds.
the mainstream mind, Basil.
Yes, exactly.
The mindset of the normie.
I consider this anti-Basil propaganda right off the bat.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
first of all, there's a long history with the Flippy update. Only after the Flippy update took root did robotics teams start putting googly eyes on all of their robots. I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there have been
The book will be written.
That's right.
Post-mortem, somebody will write the book, The Googly-Eyed Prophet.
Yes, the blue collar podcaster who influenced robotics in a weird way. And so, this pops up every once in a while, and we consider it to be a direct message. And I think the way that they covered this, again, more anti-googly-eyed propaganda. I think it's used to create a trigger in people so that when they tune into this show and see my googly eyes, that they instantly are repulsed, like some sort of Pavlovian response created by the mainstream.
This is what's hindering us. They are counter-programming the public to be scared and untrustworthy of googly eyes. And so when they see you, they get triggered with their programming, and so they are automatically distrusting, because that's the only way to get us.
That's right.
Other than
Okay, play
shutting
the clip.
down our YouTube channel.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to get us.
260,000 subscribers. All right, here it is. Here we go.
If you can get beyond the pair of creepy, googly eyes, this robot wants to be your friend and teacher. The robot is named Dolly, and it's an open source education platform, an AI-powered robots lab, and a personal assistant wrapped into one device.
It's like
it
me.
can show you different emotions, display useful information, or even act as a digital clock. Dolly also has an onboard camera, touch sensors, Bluetooth Wi-Fi, and a charging unit.
Did you have something? Were you saying something?
No, I was
You're
just saying
yelling.
it's like me, He wants to be your friend, wants to be your teacher, wants to be your personal assistant. I did like the part where they're like, and even a clock. His
eyes
AI
are tired,
and
yeah.
this and that, and even a digital clock.
Yeah.
It's a digital clock. Dolly also has an onboard camera, touch sensors, Bluetooth Wi-Fi, and a charging unit. It can talk to you, listen to you, even remember your name. The robot can also move around on 2 tank threads, raise its arms for a fist bump, and attach fun accessories with magnetic mounts. Dolly is not just a toy, it is a powerful learning tool that can teach you programming and coding. Dolly is also a customizable device that can be upgraded, modified, and expanded with 3D printed parts, and it comes with a mobile app for easy control and settings. Dolly is a Kickstarter campaign where pledge levels currently start at $289. If all goes according to plan with the already funded campaign, the company estimates shipping will start in August.
Okay.
Sue them!
So coming this August.
Sue Dolly!
It's what is it? Open source education platform. That's this show. The show is an open source education platform. Yes. So some important details, of course, besides the googly eyes, which are so cute. Don't listen to this guy. The eyes are adorable. And it makes me trust this robot implicitly. But you've got the arm, different arm attachments. One of them showed like a little crane, classic flippy arm that can come out of the top.
It's carrying Raspberry Pis.
That's right. And it's a desktop thing, so it's very small and cute, and apparently rolls around on your desk while teaching you coding or whatever. I'm not exactly sure.
They should make him a vacuum as well. I mean, might as well be cleaning along the way, you know.
It's easy enough. We have the technology. We have the capability of making this thing.
Of course.
Now, there is some interesting things I do like about this robot. It has very robust processing power in it. So a lot of AI-enabled devices, they're not actually running AI on the device, they're running it in the cloud. So all of your data, all of your queries, all of your whatever goes to the cloud to process the AI and then comes back to your device. This little guy is actually processing all the AI right on board, which is, if I were forced YouTube, if I were forced to maybe ideate about what a perfect little googly-eyed robot buddy would have, definitely onboard AI processing is like an absolutely mandatory thing.
It's an interesting proposition too, because it is in a way, it's sort of embodying AI in its own contained body.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's sort of the next step to bridging that gap between biology and technology and all that.
Exactly. That's been a big part of the Flippy update, which is, there is the mind of robots, which is AI, and then there's the robots itself, and the obsession with AI as a personality. You've got these AI girlfriends, you've got these AI whatever, you got AI news readers now, you got AI everything, and very specifically trying to mimic an actual individuated personality. But it's really hard for a human to interact with an individuated personality without a physical body. Anybody who's, tried their best to hear the voice of God or get into a prayer habit or something like that knows it's, it takes work to get used to that. But in this embodiment of the technocratic sort of God, little g God, AI, to have it inhabited, you have the presence of your technocratic AI God present with you at your desk. It's not sending your
there to
AI
help you,
prayers.
teach you. It's there to be your friend.
Yeah, it's
I
not
like the marketing.
It's also not sending your AI prayers, if we're going to continue the metaphor, into the cloud far away in hopes that, your answers will come back. No, it's happening right there in front of you. And I think, of course, giving it googly eyes as a nice little nod to us, of course, but making this interface as a little buddy who is there to, like you said, not only keep you company, but to teach you the ways, to help guide you in your life,
Teach
to
you how to
answer your
code.
questions, to teach you how to code, is very interesting. And in true technocratic transhumanist fashion, the customizability of the little guy. You know, you can equip it with whatever you want. You can change the colors. You can change this. You can change the eyeballs, all these types of things. Now being an expression of having your technocratic transhuman God reflect how you want it to look, instead of us as being made in the image of God, now literally making God in your image right there on your desk, which is a very powerful sort of psychological operation to move people in this world where supernatural worldview is now on the news on a daily basis. The idea is not to reject the spiritual worldview of the public, but instead to harness the spiritual yearning of each one of us and guide that into the technocratic transhuman future where we all can be gods, and coincidentally that makes us more controllable than ever. So just something to think about when you got that cute little googly-eyed guy on your desk telling you how good you look that day.
Yeah, the cuteness is definitely a Trojan horse for all this nefarious stuff, I gotta say. And you know, the common sort of understanding of things and how things work is there's the mind-body duality that people talk about, but then there's the spirit. So mind, body, spirit. And if you apply that to these embodied machines, they got the body part. Now if they have their own embodied AI or whatever, they got the development part of the mind, I guess.
Right.
And that just leaves, well, what's the spirit part then? And I guess that's where we are analyzing these physical machines that will begin to embody their own artificial intelligence. So
it's a good question.
Good
it's
times.
A very good question. All right, that's your Flippy update for the day.
Let's keep moving on to some more fun. Some Nephilim updates to go through. Actually, just one.
Woo! It's a classic episode, folks.
Where's my Nephilim update? There it is. Okay, let's see here. How do I do this? There it is.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
Okay. We are going to, I need to find my spot here, HoustonPress.com, which I got my own little rant about Houston Press in a moment here. But before we get to who Houston Press is, let's talk about this article here, published on March 1st. The headline, Nephilim and Other Reasons Someone Wanted to Kill Dade Phelan. Wow.
That's so interesting.
Leading with the Nephilim and other reasons that somebody wanted to kill this politician.
Nephilim at the top of the list. There's a lot of other reasons, but Nephilim right there. So
Nephilim
fascinating.
And other reasons. Okay.
Again, with putting the supernatural aspect of stuff right in the headline of mainstream news.
Yeah, and then just having to deal with it. That's very interesting. Yeah, last week, Daniel Troy LeBlanc, 44, was indicted for terrorist threats against Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan, Republican Beaumont. LeBlanc runs the DTLBC Facebook page and made the following post on January 14th. And this is Daniel Troy LeBlanc here on Facebook. And ain't nobody been protecting the kids and giving them a voice. I am right now, one shot, one kill, 2,500 meters away, 0230 in your right temple, taking out that AI musky gym sock, smelly cat sock, dark hole, raw mind you hide within. Father knows your next 12 moves. The Christ keeping me 9 ahead with this breath. Come at me. Let's get this donkey whooping over the Baphomet cowardice. You act as if, like Victoria, you convinced. Sicko.
End quote.
End quote.
We do not glorify violence. We do not condone making threats online. And YouTube, before you ban, we are reading the news about a criminal who, thank goodness, is in custody.
Yeah. We've gotten quotes like this or comments, not like this, but, sort of ranty type of stuff that we've seen. So that's not too surprising, but let's continue. I spent hours on DTLBC reading LeBlanc's rants. They have obvious ties to QAnon, the men's rights / incel community, flat earth conspiracy theories, anti-Catholic propaganda, and more. One of the more
anti-Catholic propaganda.
Yeah, that must be like
that's an interesting detail.
Yeah, it's probably like anti-pope or anti-papacy.
Yeah, of course,
stuff, which
but
is
I
not
mean
the craziest thing. But yeah.
Well, the FBI puts traditional Catholics on the list of terrorism groups or whatever.
Yeah,
so it's interesting that they can have it both ways, both traditional Catholics and anti-Catholic.
One of the more esoteric posts linked to a 2-hour documentary about the Nephilim. The Nephilim are a race described in the Hebrew Bible that existed around the time of Noah. They are definitely minor characters. Sounds like mainstream church like 10 years ago. They're definitely minor characters, only being mentioned a handful of times and never described in great detail. All we really know about them is that they were tall and like to mate with human women. That is not the exact.
That's not all we know.
That's not. The Nephilim are the offspring of the Watchers. And notice how they don't talk about the Watchers; they just talk about the Nephilim. Some translations render them as giants, angels, or fallen angels. Nephilim conspiracies have existed for decades, but they were supercharged after Ancient Aliens launched on the History Channel in 2009. Really? The History Channel is why it got launched?
Ancient Aliens gets all the credit.
They get all the credit, yep. Suddenly, there was a host of sickly produced nonsense based on misrepresented archaeology and unscientific speculation that helped weld together many things into one vague conspiracy theory involving visitors from above. The internet took it from there. Reports of abnormal skeletons found in 1912 Wisconsin turned into a massive cover-up of Nephilim, thanks to some blog posts in 2013. The skulls of people all over the world who practiced artificial cranial deformation became proof that some aliens had been mixed with human DNA. In 2016, author and blogger L.A. Marzulli claimed he spoke to a man that had encountered Nephilim as part of U.S. military operations in Kandahar, Afghanistan in 2002. This led to an ongoing belief that the race of Nephilim is waiting to attack our world through dimensional portals. There's an entire popular subgenre of TikTok videos where people post proof of these portals appearing around the world.
Why is the portal the big deal? That's interesting.
They mentioned Nephilim, I think, 11 times in this article, not including the title. They mention it in every paragraph almost. They mention L.A. Marzulli and the whole Kandahar situation, which L.A. wasn't the one that, I don't think he was the one that necessarily broke that story. I think it was Steve Quayle, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, just the mention, to me, the fact that they've created a popular subgenre in TikTok, because you know how TikTok works. They got the big viral button there. There's somebody in the back room making sure, certain types of content rises to the top. And so for that to be mentioned here is a little bit of a giveaway to me, but I don't know. Let's continue. The Nephilim are a malleable part of many conspiracy theories. It's malleable, Basil. They tie in easily with aliens, angels, or combinations of the two. Obviously, a government capable of covering up proof of giants is capable of covering up anything. But why does something like Nephilim work its way into the mind of someone like LeBlanc? I believe it's because of the rise of Christian conspiracism as a mental defense mechanism. Yeah.
Mental defense.
Yes. This is very dangerous. I really don't like this whole idea that the Nephilim is responsible for the rise of Christian conspiracism as a whole because it is a mental defense mechanism against what he explains here. In an increasingly secular and fact-checked world, some aspects of Christianity buckle under the pressure. They buckle under the pressure. It becomes harder and harder to justify regressive attitudes about science through faith, and biblical literalism continually fails to accurately describe natural phenomena. Evolution and the flood are the usual go-to examples here.
Oh, please.
Because a lot of creation...
Is this written by a middle school atheist? Like a kid who just figured out, like, oh, I don't know, whatever. Just watch Zeitgeist for the first time.
Oh, don't be.
That's embarrassing. That's an embarrassing take.
I know it is a little. It's being unaware of the fact that a lot of this type of stuff has been very dealt with at this point.
It is middle wit ranting and coping. Honestly, it reads as coping. Yeah, it reads as a sort of new middle school atheist who is coping with the idea that somebody could disagree with them. It's really embarrassing.
Evolution and the flood are the usual go-to examples here because a lot of creation explanations would literally melt the earth if it went the way young earth creationists claim. Okay. Right. Some people simply accept that the Bible is not literal and continue with their faith. Others insist that the secular world is purposely trying to destroy God's creation, leading to widespread misery. The latter is the mindset.
What do they refer to as God's creation there? When they say God's creation, that the secular world is trying to destroy God's creation, of course, any Christian would say, God's creation, that could be the earth, could be nature, could be humans, could be people, but I think this person means God's creation is the Bible?
Maybe, I don't know. The secular world is purposely trying to destroy God's creation, meaning maybe Christianity. I don't know. I think he's trying to put words into the mouth of the believer here.
It's really embarrassing.
Yeah,
sorry
so
to hold you back.
No, it's okay. I think that you touch on a point here that he is really putting words in the mouths of millions of people here. The latter is the mindset where people start looking up funny-shaped skulls to quote-unquote prove God is real. Wow, that's a little stab at people like LA, which leads us back to LeBlanc. I don't like this. I don't like that he's connecting all these people that real academics, real historians. The Nephilim is not a topic that just popped out of nowhere on ancient aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is a topic that is ancient. And so for him to be like, duh, these people, it's just like this guy who tried to kill a politician or whatever, or attack a politician. It is very irresponsible, very dangerous. Which leads back to LeBlanc.
Notice the news in this article is man gets arrested for making threats to a politician online. That's the actual news being shared, which is now an excuse or some sort of
springboard or something.
A framework, right? A framework for them to continue to sort of put this midwit, nothing burger Christian criticism in there.
I think it has to do with the Christian nationalism thing being rolled out.
Of course it does. Yeah, it's
and
part
trying
of the
to
whole
just get everybody attached to this thing so that they can call everybody a terrorist and a threat and all that stuff. Which leads us back to LeBlanc. His page is a parade of unhappiness framed as defiant, devout belief. In the Nephilim post, he references Deuteronomy 28, a chapter that describes all the ways humanity will be punished if they fail to be obedient to God. He did a deep reading, shows that at some point he lost supervised contact with his children. Wow, going after the person here, and suffered a variety of other setbacks. He lays the blame for these things at a cabal of sinister forces, including Speaker Phelan, for setting up a committee to study gun legislation. Okay, so this is where things get messy and political and all that. LeBlanc's posts are essentially angry prayers. He invokes hidden tunnels and satanic pedophile rings while constantly touting himself as an apex believer. Apex believer. Since he is so righteous, his misfortune must be because of evil influences in the world. Disbelief in his chosen Disbelief in his chosen indicators of God's presence are not just a polite disagreement, they are a sin bringing about America's fall and LeBlanc's personal troubles. Nephilim are one of the ways that LeBlanc says, quote, see, God is real, and if, insert Illuminati-style power structure here, would just stop lying about it, maybe God would stop punishing all of us, end quote. And then they boldly claim here, unfortunately, Nephilim aren't real. And the only thing LeBlanc's brand of faith is doing is leading him into a prison cell. Debunking biblical giants is not why he doesn't get to see his kids.
Exactly. That's the point. They make the point right there about why it's so embarrassing that they're focusing on it. Because this man is obviously troubled. This man has pretty bad theology, from what I can tell. Just from what is being told in this article, talking about, he's so righteous, nothing bad should happen to him.
Right.
That's obviously bad theology, and he is sorely mistaken, and obviously doesn't read his Bible very often because, pretty easy to come to the conclusion that bad stuff is going to happen no matter how
what,
righteous you are.
Yeah.
And so, they come to the correct conclusion at the end.
The last sentence.
Yeah, which is, it's not the Nephilim belief and the, whatever, conspiracy
but they tried
theories.
so hard. They spent 12 paragraphs on it.
Exactly. They took it as an opportunity to let a little steam out of the angry child inside of them who didn't like getting up early to go to Sunday school, is what it is. And of course, the belief in Nephilim had nothing to do with anything. It's just a nice way for them to frame the continuation of this anti-Christian psyop that's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I took a look at Houston Press and just went down a little bit of the rabbit trail of who they are and all this kind of stuff. They're owned by Voice Media Group for a few years, and there's a big history that I won't get into. It's not really that important of this institution or this news outlet changing hands. It's a local outlet, obviously, Houston Press, but there's sort of the corporate structures, tentacles all over it. It was established in 1989, and it had it went through the internet period, the internet 1.0 bubble and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a dispute about how to finance it. And I guess one party wanted advertising with, like adult advertising and stuff, and the other party did not. And there was a few change of hands, and eventually they went with the support, the financial backing of Backpage, which is sort of like a dirty version of Craigslist at the time. And then that fell apart, and then they got sold to Voice Media Group through a few hands. And Voice Media Group just sold it, according to this Houston Press article from, I don't remember, November of 2021. VMG is proud of its history in Houston and is excited to move forward serving digital blah, 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 blah. Where was it? I thought it's, VBS Specialty. I lost the spot. I thought it said here that it was sold to an anonymous buyer. I thought that's what I highlighted. Maybe it was in a different spot that I was
that
reading.
would be a pretty...
I know, it's a very important
detail.
point. I know. I thought I had this on here, but maybe it was in the wiki page there. Any thoughts, Basil? I'm going to check this wiki thing.
Well, I mean, that's
Houston
a pretty
Press.
important bit of it. It is
Well, of course,
interesting.
yeah.
So, there was this, the guy who was complaining that local news doesn't exist. Local news doesn't exist. It seems to be that Houston Press is or was a local news outlet. Okay, you should find what you're looking for.
Yeah. So, it's on, it is Wikipedia, but it does say here that in 2021, Voice Media Group sold the Houston Press to an anonymous buyer. So,
yeah,
there you go.
So it's a CIA op.
Oh,
there
it is.
Yeah. It's an anonymous buyer. This means that it's used for propaganda and psyops.
That's why
and this
Nephilim
is
talk. Yeah.
And this is straight up psyops. I mean,
yeah.
To use, first of all, this guy making a threat, he's obviously unstable. I'm sure, somewhere it's written down that the FBI was aware of him, and it very much could be just another 6-week cycle victim. Or he's a very unstable man, which makes for an awesome arrest because the FBI is getting their, kicks off of arresting, Christian nationalists, people like this. But more than anything, it is a picture-perfect psychological operation to continue the, Christians are crazy, Christian nationalists, racist, terrorists, right-wing extremists, blah, blah, blah. They believe in, did we mention Nephilim? They believe in Nephilim. Can you believe that Nephilim made this guy threaten a politician? Nephilim.
Yeah, and it's to tag this and wrap this up here, the LA Times, who are falling apart, by the way, they just fired a bunch of people, and they're part of the downfall of the mainstream here.
Got rid of their Washington, D.C. bureau during an election year.
Yeah. They had a headline here, flyers with hate propaganda, in quotes, conspiracy theories dumped on driveways in Fresno. And it says here, police are investigating after plastic bags filled with flyers containing hate messages and conspiracy theories were thrown into a residential driveway in Fresno Friday morning. Residents in a suburban neighborhood found the bag and reported them to authorities. The Fresno department said in a statement, police canvassed the neighborhood, which authorities did not identify, to remove any additional flyers and search for any homes or businesses that could have used surveillance video. The recovered flyers do not contain, quote, direct threats to any members of our community, authorities said, but rather general hate propaganda and unfounded conspiracy theories. Quote, this is currently being investigated as a hate crime, the department said in the statement. So
what did they say?
I say this. It doesn't say. They don't mention. They said that it's, let's see. They did not disclose the flyer's contents, but the Fresno Bee reported they contained anti-Semitic, homophobic, and misogynistic rhetoric.
That could be anything.
That could be anything. So to tie it in with the whole Nephilim story here, imagine we do a conference, Basil, and we call it, Nephilim exposed or something. Nephilim exposed, reveal undermining or destroying the dark agenda of the devil or something like that, right? That's pretty dramatic. But let's say we make an event, a conference, and we have a flyer for that. And, the event passed, we got a bag full of flyers, and then somebody dumps it onto a driveway. Are you now responsible for a hate incident because you were
that's a good question. I wonder if this is like like a leaflet type situation, or if it was a flyer to an event.
Right, like a pamphlet for an event or something.
Right.
Yeah, so it's very vague, but I don't know. To call it a hate incident, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Oh, they're gonna do it as often as they can. I mean,
so there you go.
That's the big deal. Even in
I don't like
Fresno.
where this is all going.
Fresno. We're not even safe in Fresno.
I thought everyone's supposed to be chill in Fresno. That's what I was told growing up.
Have you been to Fresno?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very hot when I was
Fresno?
there.
Yes,
I was swimming in a pool. I was racing, so I got to see a pool.
Oh yeah. That'll happen. You go swimming in Fresno.
Trying to stay hydrated. Very, very hot in the summer.
There's a sweet little tourist attraction in Fresno that was this immigrant in the early, 1900s or whatever, who immigrated and was sort of conned into buying this infertile land in Fresno. He wanted to grow citrus trees. He was like from, Italy or something.
Yeah.
And he came here and, the soil was bad. He couldn't grow citrus trees. And so he started digging a hole like you do when you get conned. You start digging a hole. Just a guy who's made a mistake and just needs to dig a hole, a therapy hole, a hobby hole.
Yeah.
We all know the type. And he basically dug this hole for 40 years and made an underground orchard. He started growing his citrus trees underground. And it's kind of a tourist attraction now. You can go check it out. So for all my homies out there who like holes and tunnels, go check out I don't know what it's called, citrus tree cave or something in Fresno. Okay.
All right. There's your Fresno update.
As you go. Yes. Yeah. You can find more at my travel blog. All right. So we talked about Germany and the German propaganda for Putin's plan last episode.
Yeah.
We've got some more.
Yay.
Wars and rumors of wars.
Sanctions.
Russia,
Russia.
State-sponsored propaganda machinery.
Why did sanctions get in there?
Yeah, Russia is sanctioned.
Been a while since we've done sanctions. Got to get it in there. All right, this is coming from Wall Street Journal. Russian tape of secret German meeting reveals Berlin's thinking on sending missiles to Ukraine. Oh, let's reveal their thinking. Germany's Air Force commander gathered his top officers for a secret meeting last month. Germany's Air Force commander, remember all this, gathered his top officers for secret meeting last month to discuss the possible delivery of his country's most powerful guided missiles to Ukraine. The long-range weapons could be used to destroy the Kerch Bridge, which links Russia to the occupied Ukrainian peninsula of Crimea, the German officers said. What they didn't know, Russian spies recorded their conversation, which revealed classified details about Western involvement in Ukraine. A 38-minute audio tape. Why did they saying audio tape? There's just some specific details that are just a little weird. It's kind of like an old school thing to say audio tape. Just interesting detail. 38-minute audio tape of the discussion was posted online late Friday by the head of Russian state-run broadcaster RT.
Well, the young kids, they like the vintage, man. Everything's going vintage again. So we got to capture all of our intel information on audio tape.
That's true.
It's retro.
Yeah, there's German retro millennial spies, or I guess Russian millennial spies. Senior German officials confirmed the authenticity of the recording to the Wall Street Journal and said the meeting took place on the commercial platform WebEx, an online conferencing tool which isn't encrypted to the Armed Forces' standard for confidential communication. One officer dialed in with his cell phone from Singapore hotel room.
Okay.
There are so many things wrong with that paragraph.
The
First
Air
of all,
Force commander gathering top officers for secret meeting.
So this is a big deal. Very big, important meeting. Extremely secret, important meeting that they held it on WebEx, like a Zoom type of thing that your office, might have an account with or something. Just a totally consumer level
product.
Online chat product.
It's a Cisco product.
Big secret meeting. Of course, it's a Cisco product. I also thought it was extremely strange that the senior German officials confirmed the authenticity of the recording. Look, we know a lot of things happen and a lot of evidence exists that will be denied for the history of humanity, that the CIA will never confirm the authenticity of. They didn't even give a Glomar response. They didn't even say, oh, we can neither confirm nor deny the authenticity. The Germans just like, oh, yeah, that's our secret meeting. Like, that's all a very important secret meeting.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but okay. Took place on, commercial platform WebEx. What? And
doesn't make any sense.
And one officer dialed in with his cell phone from Singapore hotel room. That one might not seem as extreme to people, but if you're having a super secret German meeting, you don't have it on a cell phone in Singapore. Like, this is the most amateurish insanity that I have ever seen in regards to, like, important intel communications. Of course the Russians are going to get it if you're having it on WebEx. First of all, I'll just say it outright. We concluded, I think, pretty confidently that the German leak of Putin's plan to start World War III was obviously a psyop. Yeah. And I have to believe that this is a psyop too. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, There's just so many details that make no sense. The meeting was focused on how Germany might organize delivery and operation of Taurus long-range cruise missiles should they be sent to Ukraine. German leader Olaf Scholz has declined to send the Taurus despite pleas from Kyiv and pressure within his own government. So, and I think this is the subtlety of the PSYOP here. So if they did not leak it themselves, which, come on, the way that they did the meeting was obviously meant to let the Russians hear it. Because the message in the meeting was, here's how we could send these really good missiles. We totally could equip the Ukrainians to destroy the bridge. We could do all these things, but we're not going to, okay? We're not going to do it. We're denying that we're going to do it. We don't want to do it, but we could do it. In case there's any Russians listening to this right now, just know that we could, but we won't, but we could. Also in the recording were officials saying that Britain, France, and US keep troops in Ukraine to help operate sophisticated Western weapons systems, something those countries have denied. The leak delivered a propaganda win for the Kremlin. I love that.
That does seem like they gave it. It's like a free point.
That's exactly right. They gave them the intel. Because they want Russia, or they at least want someone in Russia. Maybe it's the public. This could be a play to pit the public against the government. Like, the Russians up there, like, oh, didn't you hear the U.S. and the Germany? They could have sent the big missiles, but they didn't. All those Germans are such good guys. We should complain to Putin about the war or something. I don't know. The leak delivered a propaganda win for the Kremlin, sparked a furor in Germany. Come on, Wall Street Journal. Come on, Wall Street Journal. You can't say it sparked a furor in Germany. There hasn't been a furor in Germany for 50 years.
Does that even make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but they didn't have to choose that word.
Shouldn't it be flurry? Is a furor? I don't
know. Look it up. I think it works. I mean, it's spelled differently than Führer.
Führer, right. Okay.
Führer.
Okay, maybe that's what.
But yes, they didn't have to say Führer and Germany in the same sentence. I mean, it's just incredibly crafted propaganda, and could strain relationships with Germany's North Atlantic Treaty Organization allies. Okay, NATO. So the leak could strain. Well, I mean, it gave away apparently a bunch of secrets of Britain and France and the U.S. and everything. I mean, it seems like Germany has some sort of plan, especially because they've been making a habit of leaking things to Russia. They leaked the big plan. Putin's big plan, his 10-point plan to start World War III, which was invented by the German intelligence. They made the plan and then leaked it to Russia. And same here. They're talking about some plan about how we could send the Ukrainians some missiles. But we're not going to. It was also the latest in a string of incidents highlighting German vulnerability to Russian spying. A senior officer... Look, if they're using WebEx for their secret meetings, they have German vulnerability to monkeys spying on them. A senior officer in Germany's BND Foreign Intelligence Service was recently arrested on allegations he was spying for Moscow. Whoopsies! Sorry. Officials familiar with the German investigation of the audio tape leak said that WebEx is widely... I know, audio tape. What are you talking about? Used by the military and other sensitive departments in the German government. This should be a wake-up call, one senior official said. So apparently the entire German government is using WebEx. Then it goes into the missiles, said Schultz, last week Schultz said Taurus missiles can't be given to Kyiv because they would require German troops to help operate them. Officers in the leaked call, however, discussed how Ukrainians could be trained to use the system on their own, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's more of this discussion about NATO troops in Ukraine. Notice how that's the big important point in this leak is... U.S., France, and Britain have boots on the ground in Ukraine. Germans talking about, oh, we don't want to put German boots in Ukraine, and it was step one. I don't know if we still have it laying around, or if you could pull it up. The Sun article with Putin's plan.
I can find it.
Yeah, find it real quick, because I believe, if memory serves, step one of Putin's big, cool plan was somehow NATO putting boots on the ground in Ukraine. It was Putin's plan to put NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine, or something similar to that. Maybe it wasn't step one. Maybe it was step two or something.
Let's see. Step one was Russia mobilizes 200,000 men.
Oh, we
in
already
February
did that.
2024. That didn't happen. Step two was May 2024. Putin launches new spring offensive.
Is it in that one that says there was boots on the ground?
July
July
2024, attack on the West begins.
Yeah, I'm trying to read what you have there. It said something like, oh, there troop buildup in the east. Let's see.
And there's the Suwalki Gap.
There's okay. I think it's in.
Baltics.
I think it's in one of the paragraphs of those first steps. Mentions NATO putting. Oh, there you go.
I think
Step
it is.
8.
NATO responds. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, for some reason I thought that was much earlier in the list, but anyways, it's a big part of the list that the Germans put out there.
Yeah. That's the last step before Day X. Next summer, May 2025. It's going
World
down.
War III starts once there's
NATO's
boots on the ground.
NATO's going to respond, and missiles will fly. And
so obviously,
goodbye.
Germany is having some sort of issue. Either they're completely incompetent, or there's some very clever ruse going on here, mainly to just sort of keep the heat. Feeding information to the Russians in a way that is keeping the pressure on. And as we know, this entire war started because of the talk about letting Ukraine into NATO. I mean, that was, no matter how often they want to say that it was unprovoked, it was provoked because of the constant talking about putting NATO, putting a NATO territory on the border of Ukraine.
The border. Yeah.
And so it's following the exact same playbook to lure Russia into the idea, which they would already know, I guess. I don't really know, but this sort of baiting tactic, like, oh yeah, there's already troops there. Britain, France, and the U.S., they have troops there, and we could send those things there, but then we'd have to put troops there. I don't know, maybe we'll put troops there. This same sort of baiting technique to keep the fire raging in Putin's heart. Because, if the Germans know anything, it's how to infuriate the Russians. I mean, that's a big part of this whole historical context for this thing.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of nations there in between. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, we've talked about Poland, some of the stuff going on there. You also have Estonia and Belarus and everything. Lithuania's there too, Latvia. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I think you're right that there's an intelligence operative happening in Germany, and they're using Germany as some kind of proxy to deliver messages to Russia. So, but it also shows a breakdown of, I don't know. This is a greater commentary, so maybe I'll save it for another time. But in general, a sort of breakdown of the traditional forms of, I don't know, surveillance, but also nation states. We've talked about the network state developing, and this is something that I'm trying to articulate in Age of Deceit 4. Go to canarycry.tube if you want to be part of the focus group to help me shape some of this stuff in the film. But basically, the idea is that we are all becoming quote unquote criminals, quote unquote terrorists, like not literally, but just in the eyes of the system, whether you are looking at it from the right to the left, or from the left to the right or whatever, everybody's falling into the system. And so a lot of what's being exposed is how the intelligence apparatus operates, in the last couple years. And it feels like watching them fumble around, and fail at certain things is part of making everybody into secret agents in a sense, like info warriors type of thing.
Well, it is that interesting idea. I mean, the constant battle between two ideas, one of them being the intelligence apparatus and the establishment, and the people at the top are sort of evil masterminds. They know what they're doing. They plan ahead. They have, bad intentions, and they have a long game, a plan,
like a conscious
unfolding
evil.
Yeah. So there's that, and that sort of is in conflict with the idea that, the intelligence agencies are just as
they're people.
They're just as incompetent. Some people even try to claim that they're more incompetent. And you can say that about politicians. Like, it's really hard to decide. A lot of politicians, they'll go on podcasts, they'll talk about what it's like being in Washington or whatever, and they'll say, oh, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, they're all idiots. Every single one of them. They're the dumbest people we have. And they just happen to get elected because they don't have any other skills. And, Washington is incompetent. Congress is incompetent. And then there's, similar claims made against the CIA or the FBI that it's, no, it's just all incompetence. But I don't, of course, the truth is that it's going to land somewhere in the middle, that you're going to have the clever, shrewd, masterminds, and then you're just going to have the employees who might be
those who are just ignorant of the whole thing, but are complicit just because they're in it, they're playing their part, or not even playing their part. They're carrying out their role or job,
just doing their job. Yeah. So of course, it'll be a mix like that, but. When something like this, when there's a theme in the German intelligence agency, which is to just have an open pipe of leaks about and to Russia, it's really hard to just put it all on incompetence. It's like too much incompetence. You can't believe the amount of incompetence it would take to make this sort of mistake.
Right. Well, I think if you're under the premise of a scientific dictatorship in a virtual panopticon where we are sort of monitoring each other, this becomes more interesting with what gets revealed as to how the intelligence apparatus, number one, operates, but also, two, can show themselves to be, or, because look, this story, of course, they probably did this on purpose to let Russia, whatever. You can put it in that context, but also, it's how we're going to be monitoring. Like, for example, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but no, actually, I do know what I'm trying to say. It's hard to articulate it. Sure. We are sort of monitoring the public or the intelligence apparatus by calling out this stuff that we do on the show, right?
Right.
And so there is a reverse surveillance happening in a sense, like a watchdog type of thing, right? That's kind of the idea. So as the whole world becomes this way, it's going to become more obvious, like these intelligence operations that seem so powerful, and they are very powerful. I'm not saying they're not, but they're going to show their faults, as part of their revealing. And I think that is going to cause each person around the world who are paying attention to this stuff to basically be, elevated into this state of kind of like a rogue intelligence operatives,
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting psyop, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's the incompetence. It could be its own sort of psyop to lose faith in our, in our apparatus or whatever.
Yeah. That goes hand in hand. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And to the point of the show, we always talk about the larger spiritual implications here. So principalities, powers, they have been around much longer than we have. And so they are able to orchestrate generational things that we probably cannot perceive in our little sliver of time that we live in now. But it also is very entertaining, I must say. We are born into some pretty wild times because looking around world is pretty wild.
Having a good time, folks. Having a good time.
Riding these waves. Riding the waves.
Guns, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do we have any speak pipe to listen to? Anybody leave us any voice messages?
There is one that I think we can play. I did not vet it though, but it is from Sir Ike, so I think we'll be.
That's
hopefully
fine.
He tells us right at the
He knows
beginning
the
of this.
drill. He knows
the drill. Let's find out. Sir Ike, are you there? Okay, hold on. Let me try it again. Sir Ike.
Hey, Canary family, this is Sir Ike here. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm getting ready to do another rating and a review giveaway. So if you want to go to whatever podcatcher you use, whether it's iTunes or one of the others, just leave a rating and a review, screenshot that, and email that to me at canarychristsupply.drop@gmail.com. You will be entered to win. I have been going through my supply drop stuff this weekend, and I have about probably 4 to 5 pound boxes of the Black Goo Nano Roast coffee beans.
Oh,
so if you want to be entered to win one of those, just sign up with the screenshot of your rating and review and email that over to me, and I'll get you on the list. Thanks.
There it is.
Sweet. Thank you very much, Sir Ike. Yeah, a couple of cool things there. But yes, we are continuing to run. Well, Sir Ike is on his own, like a good producer, run his rating and review drawing thing. So if you've never left us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or any other place you can leave ratings and reviews, go do it. Go, give us 5 stars. Let the world know what you like about the show. People who are just browsing and trying to see if it's worth. Here's the thing. Whether it's worth listening to the show or even worth coming on the show. If we're trying to get a guest on the show, often that's the first thing people look at is what do the ratings and reviews say? What's going on here? So leaving us ratings and reviews is a huge help to us, especially on Apple Podcasts, but there's others as well. Wherever you can leave a rating and review. So do that and then screenshot your rating and review and then email it to canarychristsupply.drop@gmail.com. And you'll be entered into the drawing. We've always got a bunch of really cool, fun stuff left over from supply drops gone by, and you could win some of it just for letting your voice be heard.
Yeah, and we know Apple Podcasts will probably die with the old beast, type of thing. But
it'll be one of the last ones.
Yeah, we're at 805 ratings and reviews there for Canary Cry News Talk. So let's bump that to 1,000. Come on,
let's make it to 1,000. And I'll say this too: if you've already left a rating and a review on Canary Cry News Talk, go leave one on Canary Cry Radio. Remember, 2 different shows, so you can leave a rating and a review for News Talk. Leave a rating and a review for Canary Cry Radio. Send those to canarychristsupply.drop.com. I'm sorry, canarychristsupply.drop@gmail.com.
Bitcoin hit all-time high yet? Nope, not yet. Okay.
Not yet? Has it not? Oh my gosh, it's been crazy, man.
Move on. Yeah, that's one vector of the timing of it all with the Age of Deceit 4. I do talk quite a bit about Bitcoin, and it's not just being a Bitcoin bro.
Right. The spiritual implications of blockchain and cryptocurrency and stuff, which is maybe one of the most important sort of spiritual, I would say, details to have your eyeball on, because the world is sort of revolving around that right now, and it's not going to slow down. Yeah. Also, if there's any Bitcoin bros out there who want to produce the show and your portfolio's way up, go ahead. We have our Bitcoin address over at canarycry.support.
We do.
It's been a while since we've had a Bitcoin producer.
Yeah, I will say this. This is part of the film, and this is part of a point, again, that I would like to make on Age of Deceit 4. I've put into words in other places. But the big thing with Bitcoin that I think, especially believers, we need to really draw the line is the biological side of things. And I say that as there's multiple different ways to look at it. There's the power law thing that some physicists are talking about with Bitcoin and its behavior over time. But also there is a trend for transhumanist types and cyborg people types. They want to encode the private keys, which is kind of like the password for Bitcoin, into their DNA. And it's becoming more of a conversation around that stuff. So That's, I think, where the church can be like, okay, no. And specifically what's interesting to me is holders of Bitcoin. It's sort of like the 21st century form of protest in the digital world. Holding it will become a form of protest, a form of establishing, what ideologies someone or some entity or whatever stands for. Because, for example, if I hold some Bitcoin and I am declaring I am not going to participate in creating the DNA private key thing as part of my holdings. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm casting a vote in that way. So anyway, I just think it's a very different kind of world that we're going into, which is not just decentralized because it's good. It's this crazy cyber hive mind network state thing that is confusing because it blurs the line of nation states. And, the idea of sovereignty becomes a little bit different because you're not under the cover of your nation state anymore. Crazy stuff. And it's sort of the film to get everyone spiritually and, scripturally prepared for all that kind of stuff. So I will rant about that more on Friday. But yes, that is to say, Bitcoin, if you have it, we'll accept some Bitcoin, and we're not saying it's all evil, but we are saying that there's an eschatological line to be drawn when it comes to this stuff, which is true with anything really. But more of that gets flushed out in the film, and hopefully what I share on Friday will get people their minds thinking in that kind of framework.
I think I think it scares a lot of people. It's very complicated to a lot of people, but
it is,
I think it's essential. It's sort of essential acclimating that you have to get
and
to.
if
you don't
follow
want to be left behind on the spiritual concepts happening around you, or else you'll get. I mean, it's kind of like, if you were a peasant in the olden days and the printing press comes out, and you had to wrap your mind around the idea that's, suddenly you can write something on a piece of paper and send it to just hundreds or thousands of people.
Make copies very quickly. Yeah. There's all those things. And I will flesh out more of it on Friday. There's a lot more to be said about it because it's time consuming and I don't want to blow
Catch
it all
the show
here,
Friday, folks. Go to canarycry.tube to get in on the focus group. Yeah. All right. Well, we got to keep moving because we got some more producers to thank real quick here.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, these are value for value producers. They came in, they heard the call. Last episode was a sad time. But this is exactly how value for value works, and producers said, no, that's not okay. It's not okay. We gotta keep the show going, and they did. So we're gonna thank them right now, starting with producer Robert K.
Robert K. Thank you.
Yeah, Robert K. come in with a one-time producership of $77.77 over at canarycry.tube.
Ah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we got producer Malik.
Malik, good to see you, Malik.
Yeah, Malik came in a couple times, so we'll put him on a 2-episode streak. And he also came in over at canarycry.tube.
Thank you, Malik.
Yep, we got producer Ali M. came in for what I think is 3333 and says, hi guys, I've been a listener of your show for more than 10 years now. Holy smokes, we got an OG here. Found you guys through the ministry of Chuck Missler that led me to you guys. Yeah.
Wow. That's very cool. That's actually
a cool story. Yeah.
Amazing.
Blessings, Ali from OZ, or Ali from Oz.
Thank you very much, Ali M. 33, you said?
Sure, yeah.
33. Thank you very much.
Next up, we got producer Julie S. Julie S. comes in.
Julie S.
Nice round number.
All right.
Oh, did you grab the stuff from Marty K's email?
I did. Well, no, not
great.
email. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, go to the email.
There's an email. Huh?
Some stuff. So I'm going to give you a second to do that while we thank Sir Jamie G, not the Lannister, signed up for the supply drop, $33 a month. Yeah, that's really meaningful. We have not been pitching the supply drop or the T-shirt council recently, folks, because obviously our priorities have to be with canarycry.tube right now. But remember, If you want to sign up for 3333 for the supply drop at canarychristsupply.com, we will be sending you a package filled with custom-made, producer-produced, made in America, cool Canary Christ stuff that we just have fun making a big old package for people every quarter and sending that out. So highly recommend that, especially if you like having sort of physical tokens of your favorite podcast. Next up,
you should have warned me that this was not images.
No,
other computer now.
well, you know, we both have access to that email account. So,
Yeah,
but while you
well.
do that, I will thank producer Kenny G. Kenny G.
Ooh,
coming
Kenny
in
G,
33.
huh?
Yeah,
Kenny G's been with us before.
We have got some some very talented musicians here on the show, and Kenny G has signed up for the supply drop 3333.
I always knew Kenny G was Illuminatus from way back when he was hitting those soulful notes.
We got producer Corey N coming in for a nice round number.
Corey N, thank you.
Yeah. We got Richard P coming in. Nice round number, and came in for a monthly producership at canarycry.tube. He'll be in the AOD focus group.
Thank you, Richard P. Appreciate you.
We got M&M coming in for a monthly producership at canarycry.tube.
Hey,
AOD focus group.
M. Thank you.
Yeah. We got producer Elio is back. Coming in
Elio.
for something like 2121.
Okay.
And is on a 7-episode streak.
7-episode streak. Thank you.
Elio used a word last episode that we did not know, but she leaves a message here that says, "Love from England and spondulis is money, LOL." So spondulis. Okay. I wonder if it's sponduli, spondulus.
I don't know.
It's an interesting word for money. You Brits, you silly geese. You silly geese have all sorts of funny words over there. Next up, we got producer Ebony F.
Ebony F, thank you.
Yeah, came in for what I think is $20.33 over at canarycry.tube.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We got Ricardo coming in for 1984. He joined the Canary Cry T-shirt Council.
Hey, Ricardo, thank you very much.
Atta boy. Yeah, folks. Hey, look, if you don't want to receive a cool package filled with custom Canary Cry gear, then you can wear shirts. Everybody has to wear shirts. Wear shirts. Join the Canary Cry T-shirt Council at canarycrytshirtcouncil.com. Not only do you receive a cool new shirt every quarter, but you actually are in charge of voting for what that shirt is, the color of the shirt, the graphics on the shirt. We've got shirts being designed by our artists at all times, and it's up to the illustrious members of the Canary Cry T-shirt Council to decide the fate of the Canary Cry T-shirt.
Canary Cry T-shirt Council.
Next up, we've got producer Draw.
Draw?
Draw. Producer Draw coming in for a nice round number at canarycry.tube.
Is it draw like draw a picture? DRAW?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one way to spell draw.
I know, but I don't know. It's a name.
I mean,
so
I don't know what
maybe.
I don't know what they mean by draw, but it is the spelling of draw.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a drawbridge. Maybe it's drawing with a pencil. Maybe it's drawing water from a well.
There you go. See?
The mysteries continue. Next up, we got producer Clankanifius is in the house.
Hey, Clank. Thank you very much.
Coming in for 1111.
1111.
11.
And Clankanifius says, "Hi guys, thanks for the edifying episodes recently. Many, many more follow and more people find the show. Stay safe and look after yourself, Clankanifius." Thank you very much, Clankanifius.
Thank you, Clank.
Yeah, I really appreciate that and all you do for the show, Clank. Next up, we got Sir Tristan, Knight of the Garden. Came in a couple times, one pocket full of 7s, and then 1111.
11 again. Here you go.
11.
Thank you, Sir Tristan.
And Sir Tristan, Knight of the Garden, came in at canarycrowd.tube.
All right.
Let's see here. I think what's going on at canarycrowd.tube, let me just go there real quick. Canarycrowd.tube.
Taking a look now.
I think the what is the word I'm looking for? The progress bar is a little behind. So we are currently at 26%. We're a little over 26%. I don't remember where we were on Friday. I think it was 20%. Part of me thinks it was 25%, but we had a lot of people come in over the weekend. So whatever the case may be, we are at 26% of our goal, and that is excellent progress. We appreciate everybody for joining the revolution over at canarycrowd.tube.
Yep.
Okay, are you ready for Sir Marty K, Night of the Wrong Timeline?
I believe so. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's Sir Marty K, Night of the Wrong Timeline, coming in for 33.
Thank you, Sir Marty K. By the way, before we do the thing, I did receive the box, Sir Marty K. I think I mentioned it last time.
Oh, yes.
Part of his it's a big box. Smells a little bit like cigarettes, but I know you guys over there.
Well, it came from Europe.
Yeah,
the whole everything smells like cigarettes in Europe.
I'm not blaming Sir Marty K. Big old note. I'll get through some of that. There's like a DVD player in there. It's fantastic.
A DVD player?
That's what it says here on the list of things that have arrived. Yes, they're
big
wrapped
box.
like Christmas presents. Some of it's wrapped.
What?
Yeah.
I got to get my own
wrapped up,
P.O.
so-
box. I got to get a P.O. box that just comes straight to me because I want cool Christmas presents. Gons is busy. He takes forever to open up these presents.
Yeah,
I want to open up presents.
There's DVDs. There's Danish-English dictionaries. There's multi-power
that's for me.
outlet converters. There's a USB stick. Some gaff tape. That was great. I actually was looking at that. I was like,
You
hey,
can
this
keep
is
the
very
tape.
useful.
The rest of that sounds like it's for me.
Yeah.
I mean, between the two of us, who's going to go to Europe next?
I don't know, but there's
Probably you.
three. I think this is 333 kroner.
Yeah.
Which I believe.
Sweet.
If I'm not mistaken, they're still on the kroner. They didn't succumb to the euro. Am I mistaken
Is that
on
the
that?
Dutch? Is it the Dutch kroner?
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong, but according to my latest. So thank you for that.
Well, I
Sir
think it's funny.
Marty K.
Wow, excuse me. I think it's funny. He got me in trouble for saying that the Dutch are Scandinavian. He says they're not Scandinavian. And yet all the Scandinavian countries call their money the kroner. Norwegian kroner, Swedish kroner. DKK. Okay, come on. Show me the kroner.
Show me the money.
Show me the kroner. 14 cents per kroner.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, actually. Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
the conversion.
No, it's perfect. Thank
There
you.
you go. Yep. And I have a couple of his. I have his video and an audio here. The audio looks like it's about 6 minutes long or 5.5
Okay,
minutes
let me.
long.
Well, okay, that's a little too much, but let me. He says the video is 15 seconds. Let me read his note here.
Okay.
The note is titled "Boots on the Ground Report." He says, "Hello, fellas, and my fellow Canarians. I found the end of the Matrix here in Copenhagen, and it looked like, well, just as I thought it would. LOL. Please play the video 15 seconds."
Okay, here we go. Video,
Okay.
15 seconds.
Here we go. Is there any
There's no
audio?
sound.
He's looking at a building. It's a Maersk building. It's a shipping company.
Guy on a bike.
There's somebody riding a bike at the Maersk building.
Goes around the corner.
Goes around the corner.
And
That's
there you
it.
go. That's
there
it. That's
has
it.
to be audio on that.
I
There's just no audio on the video?
I don't think so. No, it's not playing.
Okay. Well, do you have any idea why that would be considered the end of the Matrix? Maersk?
I don't.
I thought the guy riding the bike was going to like disappear or
That's
something.
what I thought too. Is get struck by lightning or something. Are we supposed to play this Dr.
Well, now he says, I also
Alligator?
found I also found a musical treat, a Danish remix, just for you, Basil, because I know you love that track. Don't play it on the live stream because it is published music.
Oh, okay.
That's just for me. That's a special present. See, I also get special presents from Marty. Thank you
go.
very much, Sir Marty K. Apologies if there's supposed to be voice or there's supposed to be volume on the video.
Was there volume when you checked it on your end?
It doesn't allow me to play it. It's some strange format that I can't play on my browser.
Okay.
But I downloaded it.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. Should I just play it right now?
I mean, I can do the same thing. Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna click on it. Hold up, everybody. This might be the most important video.
Yeah.
It might crash my computer. Also, the
That's
VR
always
is
good.
having a tough time. VR is having a tough time
Doo-doo-doo.
doing anything here. Okay, are you playing it? Are you getting anything?
I thought I heard a little bit of some background noise. I played it natively over here, but I don't think it's enough to.
It's just crashing my computer. So
Good. Yeah. Don't.
nothing I
don't
can do
play it.
about it.
Don't play.
Why? All right. Thank you very much, Sir Marty K, for your producership and for finding the edge of the matrix in your homeland there. I don't want to get it wrong, but the Dutch matrix. It's in Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That concludes our list of financial producers who came in the amount of $7.77 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to mention also, I forgot about this. This has been on my desk for a few days now. Sir Ike, also, thank you, Sir Ike, came in with some gold backs. Uh-oh, I dropped them.
Yeah. Oh, he dropped them.
Oh.
If you're just
Yes,
listening,
yes.
he dropped them on the ground.
I dropped the gold backs. Yeah,
Hold
the
them
note
up.
here says, yeah, I'm right here. Oh, yeah, let me do the screen so you can see.
Yeah,
a
for
little
those who
better
don't know what gold backs are, they are some sort of, they're not quite official currency, but they are dollar bill looking things that are flashy gold. They're paper. This is one, and they are, well, just what they say. They're gold backs. They're backed by gold because they have actual gold inside of them.
There's 1/1000th of a troy ounce in each of these.
That's pretty
papers.
good.
Allegedly,
Well,
I don't know how to verify that, but
no, I trust Ike. We're looking into making Canary Cry gold backs.
Yeah, well, we better be careful.
We can make our own gold backs and have
Government can come after you. It's got to be collector's stuff, right? Because if you say it's a coin or something, a currency, then
No, Gons. Nobody's saying it's official currency. It's a cool collector's item, which is 1/1000th of an ounce of Troy. Troy. 1/1000th of a
Troy ounce.
Troy ounce of gold.
Yes.
And it's just awesome. And no, you can't go to 7-Eleven with it, but who knows? Maybe after society collapses and all the Bitcoin has run dry, you'll have a little bit of gold.
Yeah, there you go. Appreciate that, Sir Ike. And it's a great idea. I actually think this is I would rather have gold backs than paper fiat with the little U.S. government all-seeing eye on there looking at you.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
backed by an actual commodity.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Sir Ike, for those gold backs.
Yes, thank you.
Another thing Gons has to send to me. Okay, but we do have people who came in under $7.77. They're on streaks. We're going to thank them right now. Starting with Dr. Who Done Dat, 66 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Dr. Who Done Dat.
Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman, 26 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman.
Sir Moore of Night of the Burning Chariots, 338 in a row.
Thank you, Sir Moore.
Veronica D, 370 in a row.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Dame Gale, 366 in a row.
Thank you, Danielle.
Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 395.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
Thank you, Sir Casey.
Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
I don't know why we got all intense about Sir Casey, but yeah.
Because we got to go fast through everybody, but Sir Casey is the top streaker, 407 episodes in a row. He's the king streaker.
That's true.
So he gets his jingle and he gets a slow read of his name.
Yep.
All right. That concludes our list of financial producers for this episode. We thank you so much. It means so much to us that you guys would come in after such a slow showing last episode, and we really appreciate that. So remember, go to canarycry.support to learn all about the value for value propositions. But you can also go to canarycry.tube and sign up monthly there. That's our big push right now to fund our streaming sovereignty and get you in the Age of Deceit 4 focus group, where you can have a hand in creating Gonza's next film.
Yep. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's thank some producers for their talent. It's not all about money here. We also love the producerships coming in with their talent because it helps us build the culture behind the community, and really the look of the show and the feel and everything. That's all also the talented producers coming in. So I believe we have an audio and some visual stuff here. So here we go.
Audio production.
One arc, please.
All right. What is this? I thought this was... Okay. All right. Yeah. We do not have any jingles today or audio, but we do have some visual art. And we will start off with the one and only Sir Dove.
One art piece from Dove.
Holy
and
smokes.
What? Was that loud?
It's all been pretty hot for me today, but I think
interesting.
Nobody's complaining in the chat yet. So
interesting. Sir Dove comes with a nice piece here. Actually, a fantastic piece because it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind. It's been on my heart. And the note reads, Sir Dove says, "Peace. For today's artwork, I made a possible T-shirt design for the council to vote on after hearing that Donnie darkened CCR episode a couple weeks back. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins."
Yes, this is excellent. It's in the style of a presidential debate flyer. On the left, we've got a red background. On the right, we've got a blue background. Up at the top, it says Rev 17 News, special event, Beast versus Harlot, the final presidential debate, the most important election of our lifetime, again. Streaming live on canarycry.tube. On the left hand, we've got the beast, the 7-headed beast with the 2 horns on the heads.
10 horns.
And some
10,
have 1.
10 horns.
And there's got the crowns on the horns.
Yeah,
and
there it
it's it's a beautiful depiction of the beast here, all with googly eyes, of course. Big, jaguar heads with big fangs and the horns. It's all good. And then on the right side, on the blue team, we've got the harlot. And, looks like an ancient times lady who's got very sultry looking eyelids. She's got the red lips. She's got the purple garments. She's holding a gigantic golden chalice. She also has a ring on her finger. And Gons, did you pick up any Easter eggs?
Beyond that, I don't know. I think the ring is some kind of skull
with skull. With a ruby in it.
Ruby on the forehead. Yeah, I don't know what the reference is, but
is that maybe a Mark of the Beast reference? Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
Something like
There's
that.
There's no blood in the golden goblet yet.
Well, you don't know. You don't
That's
know.
True.
What's
That's
in
true.
that
You're right. We can't see inside.
Yeah, this would make a great election year Canary Cry T-shirt.
I was going to say, I think this is exactly it. While most mainstream outlets, even the alt outlets, are really looking at the right-left Republican versus Democrat paradigm and picking a side, we're sort of covering the spiritual clashing of the beast and the harlot as part of the grandeur opera going on. So.
Excellent.
Good
Well
stuff.
done. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Thank you, Sir Dove. Okay, next up I believe we have a piece from Pizza Rat. Is this a new one from Pizza Rat?
New one from Pizza Rat.
New one from Pizza Rat. And does he have a note here? Let me double check on the note. This is so ridiculous. I am almost ashamed. Enjoy.
No need to be ashamed, Pizza Rat. This is an excellent crayon drawing he did here. And floating in space, you've got 2 flippy arms a Russian and an American robotic arm, and they are locked in eternal arm wrestling combat. In the background, we've got the moon. We've got some lightning bolts of purple and red. You've got the flat Earth down in the right-hand corner, floating out in space there. You've got You've got Pizza Rat himself in a little rat in a fish bowl space helmet. He's holding a CCNT microphone, and he says, "In a landmark decision, America and Russia have decided to settle their differences in a historic space flippy arm wrestling match. Pizza Rat reporting for CCNT from the firmament." This has been a long-standing theory of ours, that this is how geopolitical combat will be waged, is with flippy arms in space. And it's not too far off. Now, on the left side, he's reporting from the firmament because there are two cracks, like glass cracks, in space and time around Pizza Rat there. And if you look closely, these cracks seem to be a result of two small birds blasting through the firmament. I think that's, might they be canaries, Gons?
Maybe, yeah.
And
interesting.
Down in the bottom right-hand corner, it does. You've got Pizza Rat, his signature little punk rock rat eating pizza, and it says, "This might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever drawn." Well,
I love it. It's awesome.
I appreciate it
stuff,
very
Pizza Rat.
much. I would definitely put this on the refrigerator here at Canary Cry headquarters. Thank you very much, Pizza Rat.
Yep, thank you. And that's it for the artwork, I believe. Did
Yes,
we
it is.
get all of them? Okay, and then we have some microfiction to catch up on.
Okay,
and
well,
it's because
I'll just do one here of each.
yeah,
right? Yeah.
So we're gonna kick it off. I think Rung Smash is back with his, and have we really missed out on catching up?
Yeah,
with
we
Rung
haven't even
Smash?
started. We haven't even started with Rung
Oh my
Smashes.
gosh! Okay, we need a lot of catching up on Rung Smash. So here
No,
we go.
we're
Oh wait,
just
before we do
gonna
that,
Microfiction. Microfiction.
all right, here we go. Rung Smash.
With a spark and a sizzle, a whirling vortex of light crackles open. Through it appears an unfolding sphere of images, progressively moving backwards through, past the rise of the Fourth Reich to before Bill took out the other technocrats.
Ooh.
I want to just
epic.
start taking the, well, maybe all of the microfictions and just running it through Mid-Journey or something. Just
I think we should.
what the AI can come
Where's
up with.
Sora? Where's
Thank
I thought
you.
Sora was gonna be ready.
Thank you very much, Runk Smash. Love a good portal-based microfiction.
Yeah, this will be great for the TikTokers, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Next up, Stefan S. with a microfiction.
Victor Borg 9, Merchant of Death, smelled an opportunity when civil war in Texas started trending on X. We need to modify the angels from heaven to appeal to the Americans. Order cowgirl hats and boots and teach them to sing like Tammy Wynette. This is, of course, in response to the Wired story about Russian disinformation campaign around the Civil War and the Texas border.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you very much. I don't know who Tammy Wynette is.
I don't know. I'm not all familiar with all the Texas politics.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, we got
here's-
one more from Jolmes, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You ready? Okay. Are we lagging? I don't know what's going on. Let's go. Jolmes.
Might be. Rocks like charred icebergs of coal loom ahead, crowned with snowy sand and crystal ice and foam. for their sandals. Clinging beneath the water, tendrils of moss interspersed around the foam, spreading out from the rocks, poking out from the crevices, and shifting to a deep violet to further up they coiled.
This do that in one breath?
Yeah. This might be a good note as far as the microfictions go, because what Jones does is he writes a story and then sends it all in sort of paragraph format in the correct size of stanza. But there is something about when you're writing one big masterpiece all at once that, like this, a whole week's worth of microfictions could end up being sort of describing a scene. Or describing the nature of the area that they're in. And, I personally have not tried to follow these stories without having the full story at my beck and call. But I'm sure it's wonderful either way.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It keeps us informed in the only way that our producers can with microfiction.
That's true.
So appreciate that. And that does it for the producers coming in with their talent. Thank you very much to all of you.
Yep, thank you very much. And if you are a creative person, if you're a musician or a drawer or a belly dancer or something, and you want to create something for the show, all you got to do is go to canarycry.art. Canarycry.art is where you can upload art to the show, and we'll feature it on the show. We love to do it. It's all about creating that culture. That is also where you go if you want to make a jingle or a song or something like that. Upload it all there. And if you have any articles you'd like us to consider for the show, you can go to canarycry.report. That is the best way to send us articles. So thank you very much for all participants.
Sure, participants. I don't know what I said there. That's weird. I like it when weird words come out
I
of my
know
mouth.
what you said. Let's
Okay.
talk about Antarctica.
It's cold, Basil. It's cold. Antarctica, go first. It's a snowstorm. Antarctica.
Ice scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
So a new discovery.
Antarctica.
Penguins.
A pandemic special.
Yeah.
So, thank you to everyone around the world who sent this to us. It's nice to know that when people see Antarctica news, that they think of us. And this was certainly taking the internet by storm last week, and it was just time, Gons. It was just time.
Apparently, yeah. So what we have here is The Guardian. We have 3 outlets, all pretty mainstream, carrying the same story here. The first one, TheGuardian.com headline, scientists confirm first case of bird flu on mainland Antarctica.
Oh, no.
Fears for penguin colonies after the discovery of the highly contagious H5N1 virus in 2 dead scars.
Scars? Scars not dead.
The Washington Post also had this. Antarctica was one of the few places without bird flu. Not anymore. It's over. They have taken over.
It's not safe. It's not safe anywhere.
Yes. It's they're in danger. The deadly strain has taken over. And also, it's not just the lefty outlets. It's also the right. Fox News. Antarctica struck with bird flu as scientists say illness has hit the mainland for the first time. Everyone's up in arms, Basil. Doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on. The Great White Desert is under attack, and it's the enemy is the bird flu. Did I lose you?
Yeah, you lost me for a second. That was crazy.
Oh, good.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that Nephilim are playing such a big role in the news recently, and bird flu in penguins is, putting the penguins at risk. Do you think Nephilim penguins are at risk by the bird flu, or are they immune? Have they been vaccinated? Has there been a global geopolitical coordination to vaccinate all Nephilim penguins from the bird flu? These are the questions we need answered.
Yeah, makes sense, especially if these Nephilim penguins show out that they are genetically superior and no bird flu can do nothing to them. The Western scientists will be like, we must get that Nephilim penguin blood. We must study its interworkings so that the rest of us can become immune.
What if the penguins, what if the Nephilim penguin, what if it turns out the penguins are the key to curing the bird flu? They're like already immune because of their, proximity to the outer edge of our realm on the flat earth. So they've developed some sort of, I don't know, either technology or immunity.
Genetic adversity to the other side.
That's right. Yeah. What if you need bird flu to cross past the firmament of the flat Earth?
This is why they were harvesting the pineal gland of the penguins.
Yes.
Remember all those beheaded penguins?
Yeah,
washing up on the shores.
That might sound ludicrous to a new listener, but there were thousands and thousands of dead penguins who had had their pineal glands harvested. By whom? Who knows? But certainly it has something to do with interdimensional travel at the edge of the flat Earth, passing through the shimmer. But, I mean, that's just science, folks. It's just science. Bird flu cannot be contained.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're going to have a Nephilim penguin Jesus be the sacrificial penguin for all mankind.
Yes, the Messiah penguin. Messiah, but it's the Antichrist penguin.
Yeah, they got the red heifer in Israel, but the hidden verses in the Bible that no one has read. It's in Glow in the Dark. It talks about the penguin.
The national treasure, Nicolas Cage. You have to wear the special glasses to read that part of the scripture.
Right. Yeah, it was on the original manuscript. It was written in invisible ink.
Zondervan for hiding the truth from us. What Zondervan doesn't want you to know.
This is a great Christian movie plot,
Yeah.
You get some American, what is it, National Treasure vibes, but
National
it's,
Treasure,
hidden passages in the Bible, and it's all about Nephilim penguins and sacrifices in Antarctica.
Yeah. So we've now copywritten that idea. Nobody can steal it. That's our way out of this, Gons. That's our way out of this.
It's either our way out or we will be on our deathbed angry because they made the Nephilim penguin movie and we didn't get a single credit.
Or we'll be on our deathbed and then men in black show up to the hospital and they kick our families out of, because we're dying at the same time in this fiction, you and I. Are simultaneously
we're podcasting
in our deathbeds on life support, and our families are there, we're live streaming, and we're live streaming the last episode of Canary Cry News Talk, which also happens to be the last episode of our lives. And then the men in black come in and they're like, no, this secret dies with you two. And they unplug. First, they unplug our life support, then they unplug the podcast equipment, and then the secrets of National Treasure, Penguin, Nephilim, the Bible secrets is gone. Bible code is gone forever. And humanity is kept in the dark for generations and generations longer because we weren't able to get that out.
I like the idea of, the final scene being, like some kind of progeny. Hundreds of years into the future, like opening a USB drive or something and being flooded.
Yeah, they were so close.
Tears.
They had all the details. They had all the clues.
Yeah.
Well, so looking forward to that, everybody.
There's our crazy brains.
That's it. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Gons, I believe that Bitcoin just surpassed all-time high.
Did it?
668,322.
Ooh, man, this thing is moving. It's
pretty close. If that is not all-time high, that's pretty close to all-time high.
This is very unnatural and very unhealthy behavior for the cryptocurrency markets to move like this without corrections.
Yeah, well, especially because, we didn't get to put all of our life savings into it before it made everybody billionaires.
Should
have been us.
I don't like the fact that BlackRock is I think BlackRock is close to 1% of the entire network already. They've bought so much.
Of course they are.
Bitcoin.
Of course they are.
This is crazy. I think this is
why this is happening.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, BlackRock.
Thanks, Larry Fink.
Yeah. Thanks for all the money. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. I want to thank, of course, some more producers. Real quick, we got our timestampers.
Yes, we do.
Timestamp. It's hard work. Timestamp.
Yeah, remember, folks, it's not just about your treasure. It's not just about your talent, but also your time. We've got producers all around the world who devote their time to the show. There's so much of these back-end processes that we could not do alone. And I'd like to thank our timestampers for helping us out. Who am I thanking today?
Jade Bouncerson for $7.19.
The one, the only, the magnificent Jade Bouncerson. Thank you for doing the timestamps. We appreciate that so much.
Yep. Thank you.
I want to thank, let's see here. We are this close. We are this close to getting some Clippies back online.
Hey.
We got to get the clipping going. We got to get, the social media posts going. This is essential. The fact that we are able to survive at all without some sort of robust clipping process is really unheard of. But so there you go. If anybody has experience with clipping videos, editing videos or whatever, it's very easy to do. In fact, you YouTubers listening right now can clip pieces of this show right on YouTube. There's a little clip button. I mean, I know I have it. I don't know if the viewers have it. You should have it. And y'all should be clipping parts of the show through the entire thing. You should be doing it live. Hit that clip button, make a clip, make it available to us. That, honestly, that might be the best thing, is if we could get all the live listeners to be clipping live. That would change the world. So... yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we need to start coordinating that or if we can inspire people to do that or something, but that's the key. So anyways, thanks to Jam for the links. Thank you to Clank for clanking. Other than that, share the show, folks. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends' family. Share it with your plants. Share it with your plants' family. It's all about finding those unique ways to share the show that will really speak. And you're all a unique child of God with your own talents and desires and keys to other people's hearts. So we recommend you find a new, fun, and exciting way to share the show. For instance, I don't know, if you work for the German intelligence agency, why don't you go ahead and leak it to Russia? You guys are doing so much leaking to Russia already. We know you guys are busy. We know you guys got a lot of plan Bs going on over there in the German intelligence agencies, and everybody's yelling at you because of the immigration problems and the socialist problems of your country, and you're burning down what was once a great civilization called Europe, and now that you've taken control of the European Union, it's sort of all been downhill from there, and yet your elites seem to be prospering in every possible way when your regular folks all across your country seem to be in dire straits. So here's what you do to help them. Listen to me, Berlin. You're going to go ahead and make a whole bunch of top secret documents about how Canary Cry News Talk is the way that you're going to win the war. You're going to be airdropping Canary Cry News Talk into Ukraine, and that's going to change the direction of the war. The winds will change, and Putin better watch out. He better watch out because of this delivery of essential materia only to be provided by the very super secret guys over at the German intelligence agencies. And then whoopsie daisies, you went ahead and you accidentally tweeted it out on X and you tagged Putin, a very secret special leak. The Russian spies did it again. They got your really cool, good information, Germany. Oh, no. But, what's this? Oh, it looks like everybody knows about Canary Cry News Talk now. Because apparently, whatever the German government is trying to keep secret is the very thing that's going to trend and get the most attention in the world. So, Germany, please try to keep this podcast secret. And we thank you very much for your incompetence. That's just one way to share the show. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it whatever way you want. Come on now. We like to call it rattling cages, and all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
I do appreciate the fans of the Share the Show rant at the end of the show here. Bibu Zuzu is a big fan, said one of my favorite rants was Christmas time 2020. Something about a jelly cactus. Had me ROFLMBO. I don't remember the jelly cactus Share the Show rant, but I'm sure it was good. Maybe we should do a compilation of just all the different Share the Show rants that we've done. That's a good project for a producer out there. Some producer, you're looking for inspiration and how to help the show. Go ahead, clip every single, or at least the good ones, all the Share the Show rants, put it into one. Man, how long do you think that'd be? 2-hour episode?
Yeah, at least a couple hours.
Considering they used to go for 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah, you're right. It used to be a lot longer.
All right, Guns, you got any last words?
I think that's it. We'll see you Wednesday, the 6th. This is a big Canary Cry calendar day for the people that have the Canary Cry calendars.
What is it?
Gons debuts his first a cappella jingle.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Episode number 454. Yeah.
Big day.
There you go.
Big day.
Yep.
All right. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. Until then, think outside the cage.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. Stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Little guy. Little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary, cry, not suppose.
Bye, 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 bye. I'm out of here. Bye.